Welcome everybody to our latest session of Dragon of Icespire Peak. Our group ended up in not a great position last session, so as usual we will do a quick recap and then we will jump into our session for tonight. So folks, you guys will likely remember when we picked up our session last week, you guys were still in what we're calling the Dragon Barrow or Dragon Crypt. You guys had spent some time in there examining these different areas, fighting off some of these undead glowing creatures, and as we picked up last session, you had just encountered this skeleton of a dragon in the far north part of the crypt. There were two sarcophagi, one on the west and east side of the wall, and you guys had sort of positioned yourself around this area. There was this pit trap that you had detected and broken open, so it was obvious that it was there, that separated those in the room with the dragon from anybody that was outside of it, making it a little bit challenging for some of our folks that don't have much strength and couldn't jump. The group decided to grab onto, Bryn grabbed onto the sword that was laying across the dragon's skull in a very prominent position. As she picked the blade up, there was the sound and sort of the awareness of the group that there was suddenly other beings or forms or energies in the room, though they were not visible. So the group suddenly found themselves under attack by some invisible creatures. These presences moved around the room effortlessly, attacking who they wanted. It took a bit of time for the group to sort of learn this pattern, but eventually Finn was able to determine that once they started attacking somebody, that's the person they continued attacking until that person was down. Unfortunately, again, being that they were invisible, it was very difficult to see them. A lot of the tactics that you guys typically can rely on, opportunity attacks as opponents move away from you, or trying to put yourself in between them to create some blockage. Not only were they invisible, they also seemed to have really good mobility, perhaps even be able to fly. And this made it very difficult to sort of section them off and prevent them from getting to characters that you were trying to protect. And unfortunately, Finn did get dropped pretty bad in this battle, but did survive, suffered some bad wounds, as did some other of the characters. You guys eventually defeated these two opponents, and with this blade now in hand, realized that this was quite a great treasure, you might say. There was nothing immediately obvious about the blade, as though it was of some significance. Obviously, appearance-wise, it looked a little bit fancy, but nothing magical, nothing glowing, nothing like that really give you any kind of indication. However, Bryn did sort of make her way to the south, jumping past the pit trap, and went and looked for George, the skeletal horse that the group had discovered. And when she approached it, there was a presence on top of George. So George, being a skeletal horse, it had sort of like a ghostly woman's presence on top of it, and it asked Bryn to approach, and Bryn cautiously did so. And eventually, after a brief discussion with this spiritual form on top of the horse, where it seemed as though the spiritual form was asking Bryn to present it, Bryn assumed this was the blade, and as she did so, the spiritual form touched upon the blade, which seemed to imbue it with some powers, or perhaps showed the powers that were already there. It created a duplicate version of this blade in her own hand in a spectral or spiritual form, and from there, her and George rode up the stairs very quickly, snapping off the lead that was attached to an iron piton here down in the crypt, and the bone rider and the skeletal horse took off. So with the group having accomplished this, they did a little bit of resting and then made their way out of the crypt, finding themselves back on the hill here, where there was the secret entrance into the crypt and one of these stone plinths. As the group began to descend, it started coming down in elevation some 15-20 feet down to the ground level. The group realized that there were some humanoids that were lying in wait as flat as they could be in this tall grass that the group hadn't noticed, and as they sprung up, they charged forward, demanding some type of perhaps parley. It seemed as though they were aggressively approaching the group and likely trying to either take them prisoner or maybe barter for something, or they certainly did not seem friendly, though. The group decided that based on being faced with this, that they would try to engage them in combat. So the group fought against these creatures. Mostly they were orcs. There was the leader, who seemed to be draconic in nature. The blade that Bryn wielded seemed to be particularly effective against this guy, and he was doing the best he could to avoid getting into too much combat with her, staying at range, making use of his breath weapon while the orcs battered the group down. During this fighting, we had both Bryn and Finn drop to the ground and ultimately slain during this combat, as the rest of the group, already very weary from their wounds, had difficulty providing any kind of aid to the group, trying to just do what they could to survive. We had Josephine sort of staying at range, throwing some darts out. We had Kurtu also staring at range, throwing some fire bolts out. Maiza, your guys' assistant or helper here, had seen this overwhelming force, retreated back into the crypt, seemingly very terrified. She was not particularly happy with how everything was going here. And eventually, however, the group did manage to defeat all of these opponents, but like I say, not without the loss of 2 of their companions. With this completed, the group decided to retreat back into the crypt, and they decided that once they were back into the crypt that they would take some rest here and try to relax and catch their breath before ultimately deciding to make their way back to Phandalin. And now I'm just remembering, Finn, remind me, did Finn die down below, or did he die up on the grassy field?
He died in the crypt.
Okay, I was correcting myself there. For some reason, I thought he survived there and died outside, but it was the other way around. So yes, the invisible flying creatures did kill Finn down below. That's when Maiza broke down and let the group know that she was not going to be traveling with them any longer. Once she got back to Phandalin with the group, she was going to decide to hang up her adventuring boots, as she had seen too much loss and wanted to get back to sort of a normal life. The group somewhat kind of maybe tried to persuade her, but I think for the most part did not do so great. Leroy kind of implied like, yeah, you're old anyway, something along those lines. So yeah, with all of that having taken place, the group decided to make their way back to Phandalin and regroup from there, deciding what their next plans were. So that's a quick summary. That was actually 2 weeks ago. I believe we didn't have a session last week. I'm sure I missed a ton there. Is there anything anybody would like to add to our recap?
Yeah, I think what I remember is that Aramir, his big heroic battle, and grabs a sword and does all that stuff. We go down there and we looked for Maiza, and then we said, Maiza, come with us back to Phandalin, she has the not the magic, but we don't know what it is, but the special loot. And she said, I'll go back to you, but I'll give you the loot when I go back to Phandalin with you. It was kind of like this. I don't want to give it to you now because I don't really trust you, but I'll give it to you if you give me safely back to Phandalin.
She did say that, but I'll say that what your interpretation, obviously that was Finn's thoughts maybe, or maybe Brian's thoughts. But yeah, she did say something along the lines of, let's not divide the loot right now. Let's wait till we get back to Phandalin kind of thing. Yep, good addition. Go ahead and take inspiration for that, Brian. Anything else anybody on the team would like to add to the recap? Okay, hearing nothing else, then group, we find ourselves back in the city or village or town, depending on how good of a day it is, of Phandalin, as the group, after having been in the crypt for quite some time, finally made their way out and made the trek back to Phandalin, using the information that they had gained from Eomir's ability to navigate in the wilderness and have a good idea of where he is. The group suddenly started making their way to the southeast, knowing that they were somewhere on the northwest, and much as they suspected, they said once they hit the Tribor Trail, they would basically know where they were. Turned out that as the group was making their way back that way, they were about 40-ish miles from Phandalin. Slowly made their way southeast, traveling through the open plains, did indeed hit the Tribor Trail, started recognizing some local landmarks, realized where they were, and made the trek back to Phandalin. During this time, the group had to, of course, bring back the bodies of both Finn and Bryn, and this was a very mournful travel backwards as the group made their way, eventually getting to Phandalin, finding that the town is pretty much as the group has left it here. A lot of folks are still very upset or not happy with the circumstances that are going on in the area right now, which is the orcs that seem to be invading this dragon that seems to be continue flying down and blasting ice frost down onto any unsuspecting travelers. And there's been a lot of different discussions about what it is that should be done about all of this. So our surviving members of our group, which is Josephine and Kurtu, the two of you guys are currently in the tavern. It has been, we'll say, 5 days since you guys left the Dragon Barrel, made your way back, and made some arrangements for both Finn and Bryn to lay them to rest in the cemetery here in Phandalin. There was some discussion about perhaps sending Finn back to his homeland in the northwest. I think it was Waterdeep, if I remember correctly. But there was, of course, the issue of means, how to get there, connections, all of that. Eventually, it was decided that since he had given his life here for Phandalin, along with Bryn, that why not allow them to rest here in the city of Phandalin and allow them sort of that mark of honor. So once those arrangements were taken care of, there was some different folks that attended this, perhaps people that the group has met around town so far, and for the most part, it seems like folks are still very much down on this whole what is going on, and you almost could think of it as being like depressed, as most of the folks here in the town just very angsty about what is happening. They know there's all these dangers. So after that occurred, spent a couple more days resting and recuperating in Phandalin. Everybody will, of course, benefit from a long rest, which I'll go ahead and apply here momentarily. And you guys find yourselves sitting in the tavern trying to figure out what your next steps are. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get you guys over to our tavern map, the Stonehill Inn.
Hey, remind me, did we level up?
Yes. So you guys...
We said we were going to.
Yes, yep. We discussed how you guys would level up, but not to apply it until we saw how it happened. So yes, you can certainly apply it.
Super.
And Bill, did you have a question as well?
That was it. I got to go ahead and level up.
Oh, of course, that was the question for everybody. Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, group. So
sorry, just to ask real quick, are they leveling up to 6, or do I need to level up too?
Nope, they are leveling up to 6.
Gotcha.
All right, group. So as you guys find yourselves back here in the tavern, during this time, Miza, again, true to her word, has decided to exit the adventuring life. She may still be around here in Phandalin, but you haven't seen much of her recently, as she seemingly has gone and perhaps to some other duties. I'm going to have to create another section here, perhaps, to keep track of our dead people, but I guess away from the inn is probably appropriate for right now. But yes, so who we have left here? Okay, so yeah, Leroy has decided to take care of some tasks here in Phandalin. He indicated that he had some work to do trying to refit this plate armor that you guys had recovered from the Draconic Soldier, and you guys allowed him to take care of those errands. And at the same time, Aomir seemed to get a bit antsy here. There was not enough people really left for you guys to take on anything too dangerous, but Aomir seemed to be pretty antsy about this whole situation, and after waiting around for a day and growing more and more impatient, he eventually decided to exit from Phandalin, and sort of without really much fanfare, but the lasting impression you have is that he's going to search the land for assistance to kill this dragon, which was his ultimate goal from when he first arrived here. So yeah, we'll pick up with both Josephine and Kurtu as the two of you are sitting in the tavern. And I imagine this is sort of like a bit of a somber event. It's been a few days, as I indicated, but you can see most people around are still just kind of glum and just kind of heads down, eating and drinking without much merriment.
I'll add that it's been 5 days, so any of Finn's infusions would have definitely expired by now, so I forget who had what.
Good add, yes.
I wasn't paying attention for like a minute there. Did Eomir leave us the magic sword that we lost our 2 people for?
I would say it's fair to say he probably left that in charge of... Oh, good question. Who would he leave it between Kurtu and Josephine? Maybe we'll say he left it in charge at the Stonehill Inn, and they're sort of keeping it for you guys in a secure place until you decide that you need it.
I would not let him do that. I would take the sword.
Give me a blind check here, Josephine. We'll see if you could have arranged to handle that.
I thought we talked about giving it to our paladin.
Oh, that's true. Yes, we did.
He's not here, but
yeah,
his character's here.
His character is here in spirit.
So you guys had decided to give it to Leroy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll say that's fair then. We'll say that Leroy currently has it, though he is attending to other matters.
I mean, if I was carrying it, it'd be like a battle sword. I'd have to use 2 hands. I couldn't use my wand.
Okay. So what's around in the tavern? Anyone? Where's Toblin? What's he doing?
He is behind the counter, a fixture as usual here, wiping down the counter and attending to orders, but much like everybody else, seems a bit down here.
Hey man, we've been gone a bit. What all happened around here while we were out and about?
You see he takes the cloth, he's wiping the table down, just sort of flips it over and rests it on his shoulder, and just kind of cocks his head and says, "Not much has changed, to be honest. It's been very stressful in town. These rumors of these rampaging orcs still continue to occur. I haven't seen any of them close by Phandalin, or at least haven't heard any word from the townsfolk. But at the same time, the great threat is the dragon, of course."
Yeah, we were thinking of ways to deal with that. We got that cool sword, Leroy over there. He thinks that it might be, it might help out.
And you notice he nods slowly and raises an eyebrow. "He's quite the peculiar one, is he not? I heard him singing some kind of song as he was poking around with the blade back outside of the tavern."
Yeah, he does that. It's nothing to worry about, though.
Let's be honest, our whole group has been kind of, well, you call us different. And that's probably true.
You notice he nods once again. "I suppose that's true, Kertu. Most of the folks that you have brought to your group or have decided to travel with have been a little on the unusual side."
It's more interesting that way.
"I suppose so. Dare I ask what your plans are now with everything that has happened?"
Well, I mean, there's only 3 of us left, but if we could wait and round up some more posse here, we can go kill that fucking dragon. That might help the town's morale a little bit.
And you notice
We almost got him that one time.
He smiles a bit here and says, "Oh, I see. So that is still your plan then. That is quite encouraging. I must admit, many folks have said that there was going to be no respite from these dragon attacks until everybody in Phandalin was slain. There was talk once again of trying to make for Axholm, even without the threat of the orcs at our door."
Oh, we still have things to take care of. I mean, these are things we have to do. I don't know if it's even a choice anymore. So, but we're not giving up. But then again, we're not going by ourselves. I'm kind of small, Dragon's kind of big, and, well, let's just say 3 of us ain't gonna make it.
And you notice he taps on his chin for a moment. It occurs to me that there was a gentleman that arrived sometime late last night. He purchased the rooms for the night and quickly retired. He did have sort of that look, though. Oh, look, there he is coming down the stairs now." And I'll ask both Syl, and I'm going to get that name wrong so many times. Please correct me when I do. Syl, and is it Gale or Gael?
It's Gale.
Gale. Okay, Gale and Syl. Both of you guys roll a d20. Whoever gets higher, you're the one coming down the stairs.
Fight.
And you can roll that publicly, guys. Okay, Gale, you are coming down the stairs as you are noticing the common room here in the Stonehill Inn, and you notice that the bartender is sort of looking at you with this open hand, almost as though he is presenting you. And as you notice this, he sort of collapses his fingers, thinking maybe this was a bit rude, and turns his attention back to an interesting looking kobold and a woman there in front of the counter.
All right. Well, you see a tall, very strong-looking elf creature. His hair's up, not afraid of his ears being shown. He's got splint mail. He's got a long sword at his side. He's heavily armored. He's got a shield on his back. He's got a look of determination, but there's an air of sort of, if you can look hard enough, you'll see he's got some good news in his heart. He has green eyes currently.
Oh, I
And
like
he'll
the
walk-
currently there. That's pretty mysterious.
Yes. So he'll walk down and he'll say, let's see. Well, Toblin, I see you've motion for these little creatures to meet me.
Oh, yes, I am terribly sorry, friend, but, I happened to mention that to Kurtu and to Josephine here that you arrived late last night. You, if I must say, you don't look like the common traveler around here, and they find themselves in need of some help. I don't suppose, and you notice he motions with his hand between both parties like, eh?
Hey man, you know how to stab things? You look like you know how to stab things.
Well, I can smack things. I usually like to run over there and smack it.
Ooh, even better. And I'll produce the whacking stick. I whack things too.
That's very, very nice, little person. What is this thing next to you?
Oh, that. That's Kurtu. He's he can speak for himself, and he loves to speak for himself and everything else. Go ahead, dude.
Well, then speak.
I don't know if I want to right now. You're not exactly very polite, but my name's Kurtu. I work around here. Oh, and you can stop calling me creature. I'm a kobold. Can't you tell? I'm a dragoran.
Cobalt. Well, I don't remember any cobalt from where I'm from, but I am here traveling, looking for person of interest to me and my family and my homeland.
Person of interest. That sounds scandalous, spicy, whatever you want to call it.
Well, it's neither of that. I have great news. You see, she's my older sister, and there's been great change back home at the politics, and she is no longer banished, and she's free to come home with me. I am filled with joy to bring back my older sister, be reunited, and to go home, and with great joy have celebration and drink. Her name is Bryn Fuseflower. Yes?
That's
Hey, Kurtu.
nice.
Want to have a private conversation?
nice.
Well,
That sounds like I'm sure she's going to love that.
also you know her.
Now, well, whoever she is, right? I mean, I'm sure she wants to be reunited with her family, of course.
Yes, of course. It's a great moment. It's we're
It
looking
is.
very much forward to this. So,
I
I'm
have
sorry.
tables to clean.
okay, go clean tables. And so what is your name with the whacking stick?
Josephine, you can call me. Hey, listen, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? The little guy might, but I'm not gonna. We got some bad news. You might want to sit down.
Well, I prefer stand. There's so much joy in my heart. What could possibly bring me down?
Ah, Jesus. How do I say this? Look, we did know your sister. She was super big and super strong, just like you, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fuck me. Look, we were wandering around, see Leroy over here, that dude standing in the corners, that kick-ass sword he got. Fuck, man. I'm not good at this shit. I left politics behind for a reason.
But is she's still sleeping? Sometimes she likes to sleep in. I'm sorry, I'm putting it on. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna level with you, man. She gave her life to get us that sword. She's
Oh.
not coming home. I'm real sorry.
For she's dead?
Heroic sacrifice, we'll say. She wouldn't have wanted anything better.
How long ago? Where is she? Where's her body?
So out of character, I thought we had left them in the crypt because Natalie said Bryn would be okay with being buried alongside great warriors. But if we said that we brought her body back to town, then she is interred here in Phandalin.
That is right. No, I do remember that now that you said that, Jordan. So yes, we will assume that. Actually, I think Bryn and Finn were both buried there. Didn't you guys say like, oh, we would just pop open the sarcophagus and throw them in?
Yeah, we said that because we didn't think it was going to be feasible to get their body, because we didn't know where we were, right? We could have been dragging their corpses around for like weeks.
Yep, so my bad. So yes, let's assume that they were indeed buried in the sarcophagi and that room that you guys acquired the blade.
Okay. She's buried alongside the greatest warriors of this realm, man. In a tomb about a couple days march northwest from here.
What? Why? Do you have any? This. Can you describe her, maybe to prove? Did she say something regularly or have a catchphrase?
She was a woman of few words, but she really liked to fuck things up, and she had your accent too. I mean, she also got really angry a lot of the time when fighting, and it made her stronger. You know, it was really fucking cool, and I wish I had half of her constitutional ferocity. You know.
Well, I'd have to say, I've only come here to bring her back. That's what I will do. So, can you please point to the place of body, and I will pay you for your information. And he remains stoic in his face still.
I'm sorry. I know that you were just given some bad news, but I will tell you, just like Josephine was saying, that she was very nice, and when she wasn't fighting other creatures, and she did really good by our group, and we lost some people, and she really wanted to go ahead and finish the dragon slaying. So I don't know, maybe she would want you to help instead of just taking her body away.
Wait, so there is dragons fighting?
She loved fighting dragons. Not the gold ones, though. They're good ones. I mean, but this one's a white one, and it's evil.
Yeah, the white ones suck, you know. Take all the fun out of everything.
Well, that makes sense, Reeds. But I have not seen dragon. But I've only been here one night. But, will say, I want her body. I will leave Faerun to Feywild with her body. Back home to be buried with her family. That is my goal. Now, point in direction, please, and I'll give you 10 gold pieces.
No, Bryn wouldn't want us to take your money. We could tell you where her body is, though, but, it's up to you, I guess. You may have to roll up a new character that stays with this group, but that's okay.
I mean, it's family business, right?
It is,
we owe it. We owe it to her.
FNG didn't last long.
All right,
So,
as
yeah.
this conversation is going on, the door to the tavern suddenly opens, and stepping through is our next new character, Syl. Go ahead and describe what your character looks like.
Syl is slightly over 5.5 feet tall, very slender build, wears loose, flowing, like desert garb clothing, and keeps his head and face covered most of the time. Of what little bit of his skin you can see, it seems very pale. You can see little bits of like black hair kind of wisping out of his head covering. He appears to be unarmed and unarmored. And he walks in and looks around the room. Something that Brian and I had discussed, but I don't think we like talked any further about it, was that his character and my character may have been traveling together before we got here. Is that all right?
Yeah, feel free to incorporate that if you guys wish.
All right, so can I like operate under the assumption that I would know he was looking for his sister and all that?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Brian, that works for you.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yep,
All right,
100%.
so
Okay.
Syl will, look around the room, and when he sees Gale, he crosses the room to him, comes up to the table, kind of looks and makes eye contact with each other individual at the table, and then looks to Gale and says, "What news of your sister, friend?"
The worst kind. These Josephine and the servant table washer think that. Did you tell me your name already, Kurtu? I think you did, right?
Yes, I did,
Okay.
and I told you not to call me creature or something like that. I don't know.
It's funnier this way.
These, I don't know, but they say they've ventured with her, and she heroically gave up her life for the good of a dragon that's threatening the lives of people here. It is very bad news. I just barely talk.
Sorry for your loss, my friend.
She was well known and respected in this town too. So I mean, you can ask other people about her; they know her.
I believe you. You described her perfectly.
Has she been properly avenged?
We're working on it.
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, the people that killed her, we killed them. So yes, but her mission's not done. She wanted to help us. She was in our group for a while, and she was helping us to kill a white dragon. And that was what she wanted. But I mean, we haven't finished that mission.
I say to you in Draconic, do you understand me? Kurtu?
Yes.
Do you know exactly where her body is? I say.
And I will tell you in Draconic, yes, we do. She's in a burial tomb that her ghost told us we could leave it there. I won't say that, but I'll say yeah, she's in a burial tomb where we were, where we last fought before coming back here to town.
I'm sorry, guys. Bryn and I were both fluent in Draconic. It's part of our family heritage. I do find it ironic that she died killing dragons that we appreciate so much from my land. You promised me to show me her body, and I will finish the job of Bryn Fuse Flaw.
Yes. 100%, man.
So, I guess this is my task. Do you want to continue with me, my friend?
As we spoke of on the road, all I ask for is an equal cut of any gains we find. And you speak of dragons. You know what? You know where there be dragons, there be dragon hordes.
And you notice
Something
Toblin looks at you guys as you're speaking back and forth, and once again just kind of moves the cloth across the table. His eyes then line up towards Syl, and he says, "Pardon me, I don't mean to be rude, but based on your garb, might you tell me where it is that you come from?"
I come from the great sand sea Anarok, though it's been a bit of time since I left there. I've been wandering.
We don't see many travelers of your type coming this way.
So I have much to learn out here in these lands.
And yet, you seem to be willing to face against a dragon. That is quite brave or perhaps foolhardy. Sounds like the perfect addition to this group.
What's that supposed to mean, dude?
Well, of course, ma'am, I just mean that, well, you're going to need people of a certain quality to aid you, of course, as he
I'm
nervously
just
scratches
fucking
his neck.
with you, buddy. We get it. So, what is your story, pal? I don't think I've seen you around before. What's your name?
Sorry, I only caught, well, you were talking to me, right? I only caught like part of that, sorry.
That's what your story was, man. What's your name?
Ah, yes, where are my manners? I'm Silphasad Nilo Kalakola, though I've been told that's a mouthful, and you can just call me Sil if you would like.
Gonna go with that, sure.
Yeah, I would like.
I am the humble servant of a patron who wishes to remain anonymous for now. He's tasked me with seeking out fine gemstones and other items of value.
Ooh.
I've come here along with Gale here, who I met along the road, partially out of curiosity to see if he could find his sister, but also because I've heard many rumors that Phandalin is a place to come if you're looking for adventuring work.
We can do with this Sword. That lines up great.
Yeah, I came here looking for a gold dragon to come to bring back to my tribe and everything, because they're wonderful. And well, let's be honest, we need one. But I came here. I've been here, I don't know, a month now, and we found all kind of neat things, and which I'm not going to go over because it'd take way too much time right now. But we'll talk on the road.
And I came here because Waterdeep is a shithole and I like to punch things. That's it. That's my spiel.
End of story.
You're such a little people to be smacking things.
They never see it coming, you know? We're small, we're quick.
And actually, if you knew what kobolds were, I'm actually a little big for a kobold. I'm like 2 inches taller than all my brothers and sisters.
Well, that is something to be.
I know.
proud of.
He's super proud of it.
I am. I was taller than Finn, too.
By the way, Finn was taller than me, but I,
And Finn is a person that you know too?
Well, he died with your sister. They were friends.
For same mission?
Yep. And he's in the same. We'll say goodbye to him. Well, we'll see him again when we show him your sister's body.
You need to steel yourself, little Gertu, because if we are going to avenge Bryn and Finn, then we will have to have no tears. There is no crying in adventuring.
I know. This is water from all the cleaning I'm doing. It happens. It's the cleaning detergent, you know.
Okay, but Tolbin, may I please have a 1, 2, 3, 4 drinks of a shot of booze? Is that what you call it? Thank you.
Are you looking for the hard stuff or run-of-the-mill?
The best you got.
Oh, well, how much coin were you looking to pay? Because the best we have is some of the most rare stocks.
In this little town?
Surprisingly, we've been the beneficiaries of some gifts of ancient wines that have been discovered all along the Sword Coast. Adventurers that have passed by here for many years occasionally donate one to us, and they always said if somebody comes through who is worthy, then they could sample it. But, of course, if you're willing to pay for it, then we have it.
Can I insight check him to see if he's bullshitting?
Sure, yeah, give me a blind check. And do you have your token selected when you're doing that, Josephine?
Probably not.
So yeah, let's check the scripts again, but yeah, if you want to just make sure it's selected.
There I am. Try that again.
I would say a little bit hard to tell. You don't get a strong reading one way or the other.
I'll keep quiet.
Okay, well, here is 10 gold pieces.
All right, he takes your 10 gold pieces and says, with a nod, I will get something suitable for your group here.
Do you will you want to take drink for Bryn and Finn?
In their honor? Absolutely. In fact, I think that was the plan when we came in here to begin with.
Well, and I hold my hand to my heart and I nod. Thank you for your respect for my sister.
She was a cool lady and we're gonna do her proud.
Toblin heads back into the back area here of the inn, and after a few moments, as you guys are just catching up and having some sort of idle chatter here at the counter, he returns with a very unique looking bottle. It actually has a neck that is shaped sort of like a serpent in a coil, and you see he looks at you with a slight grin on his face as he pulls off the cork, where you can see it is actually terminates in a serpent's mouth, and there's actually even these little glass teeth that are sort of connected to it. It's very, very artistic, and you see that he puts out some different shot glasses and upends the bottle here that contains this liquid, and you see as it splashes in, it has almost like a it's kind of amberish, but there's almost a purplish hue inside of that as well. And as he fills up, you requested 6 shots, is that what it was?
Well, my math is wrong. Maybe 5, maybe 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He will fill up the 4 glasses then, sliding them across to each of you in turn as he replaces the cork. And you see he sort of watches you intently now.
Do you have, in my tradition, I pour for my sister. Can you please provide another glass that I pour? Thank you.
And you see he nods and grabs another glass from underneath the counter and quickly wipes it out with the cloth, sets it, and sets the bottle down. And you see as you're kind of looking at this bottle, he looks again very intently. Be very careful with that bottle. As you can tell, it is quite a piece of artwork in its own right.
You should have Brian roll to see if he can handle this since he can't handle a wand.
Well, sleight of hand check
Yeah.
to see if he can pour his...
Yeah. Thanks for bringing the wand throw up.
Sorry, I had to.
Let's see if you can throw a wand 5 feet. Nope. Well, thank you. And I start to pour drink into Bryn's glass, and I say words to say in Elvish that to the effect of may her soul forever glow and may her fuse never be put out, and that the good that she's brought here will continue for good fruit in springtime.
I'll say in Elvish, hear, hear.
Okay.
I don't know what that is in Elvish, but the equivalent.
Do you want to pour one for your little friend?
He's
Yeah,
not here to
sure.
have it. He's not here though.
What are you saying? You can't put back 2, Kurtu?
I know I can't.
I bet I could. Yeah, sure. Let's pour one out for Finn too.
Very well. We'll drink to them first, and then we toast for our mission to avenge them and to go and do glory in their name.
Hell, fucking yeah! I like this guy already.
All right, so who's drinking with for Finn and Bryn? Or clink glasses, and I'm just gonna chug it.
All right, as each of you guys partake in this drink and throw it back, you notice again Toblin watching you very curiously. It does go down quite smooth. It almost tastes a little bit like a water. It doesn't really hit you as much until it really hits your stomach, at which point you can feel a sudden warmth kind of goes from your stomach right up through your throat, and it feels quite potent.
Okay. Now. For glory.
Round two.
Yes. Now for glory. For Bryn and Finn, that their lives may be avenged. To all who's in. I raise up my glass.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Sil, you in?
Still says, I do not normally partake.
Well,
I will toast to their memory, though.
Am I already drunk?
I'm gonna drown it too.
I mean, unless your character's particularly a lightweight, no. I would say from one shot, no.
Okay, then I will not call him a pussy.
Yeah, I just don't know with Adam's concoctions what I trust and don't trust.
I heard it was quite potent, and I thought it might be, but I will down the second one.
You can tell Sill's a lightweight because you gave him a shot glass and he was like sipping it instead of just throwing it back. Seems out of his element.
All right, yes, upon taking a second one, I would say for anybody that is more on the lighter side, you might start to feel a little bit tipsy, let's say.
Fuck yeah, you guys are the best. Now let's go kill a fucking dragon.
But first, food.
Yeah,
Food.
that too.
You would like food as well, yes. Let me go see what I can have the cooks whip up for you. Just a moment. All right, you guys notice Toblin once again steps back behind the counter area here into more of the kitchen. You can hear an exchange between him and who you presume to be the cook back there before he returns, sort of looking at you all. It's still somewhat early in the day. Think of it maybe as being 10 a.m., 11 a.m., somewhere in that range. So as he approaches, he says, "Well, the cook is just now whipping up a batch of vegetable stew. I hope that will be sufficient."
Vegetables. What am I, a growing girl? Come on, give us some fucking meat, man.
Yeah, give us some raw eggs. I mean, come on. Splurge a little.
This is a big moment.
Oh,
Big moment.
well, you see, most of the folks don't look for the heavy meals until the evening for dinner, but let me see what I can round up for you.
You're a good man and a better bartender.
So, Josephine, this place.
What's up, buddy?
This place very weird. Did I buy the whole bottle? Do you think that's mine, or just these shots?
Did Tomlin go away?
I would assume as he walked away, being at how much focus he had on this bottle, he would have taken it back with him.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, well, I guess that answers it. What this
Well,
place says
you should ask him. If you ask him nice, he seems intense, but he's a softy at heart. So if you ask him real nicely, I bet he'd give it to you.
Really, you think so?
I do think so. He's a nice guy. You're also nice. Feel like I've known you a long time.
Yeah, you know it does a little bit.
All right, you guys are chatting once again. The door is obviously opened a few different times here as people enter or exit the establishment. But this time as the door opens, you guys probably don't pay too much attention, but you hear actually like an audible gasp from some of the patrons around the establishment, and you notice a few of them actually looking wide-eyed at the open door at this point. As you guys essentially ignore what they're all looking at, Toblin does return, and you see as he approaches, he says, "We can do some roasted shellfish. Will that be... Oh my."
What is Gertrude? Is this your friend too?
Kurtu, as you look towards the door now, your attention drawn, almost as though in a ridiculously overly dramatic fashion, you see the door is open and standing in is a very tall, slender man dressed in what looks to be fine plate armor. He actually has this heavy plate helmet underneath his arm as he holds it in his left hand, and you can see that there is a great blade on his back. The sunlight that is outside is almost like haloing him right now, and it seems as though his skin is actually sparkling and giving off little drops of like sunshine that seems to sort of fall down as he stands here, very prominent, sort of like a hero right out of a storybook.
Who's that?
Must be Korktu's friend.
I don't know if he's my friend yet. I mean, but he can be.
Better go make friend.
Adam, does it happen to be our paladin guy?
It does not. You don't recognize this gentleman.
Let's wait and see if he has a seat.
You notice he steps in very prominently as he does so, sort of scanning around. The door then closes behind him, and that sun sort of fades away, and you realize it was mostly this sort of effect of the sunlight hitting him all at the same time. He doesn't look quite as special now that he's no longer shown in that exact light, though obviously still prominent and a tall man who looks to be quite capable based on how he's dressed and his equipment. He sort of scans the room quickly, just taking in what he sees, and slowly approaches an empty corner seat here where he slides in effortlessly.
Korktu, go
Nice
make
entrance, dude. I like your sword. And then I turn back to the
friend. Oh my god, that made me
desk.
I'll walk up to him.
All right, and as you step away, Toblin like sort of looks at him and looks back at you all with this incredulous look on his face. Excuse me. The roasted shellfish, would that suffice?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Whatever you want, man.
Just give it a short while. I'll ask the cook to put it in. And you
Why roast it?
and you see he looks back towards you with a shake of his head, just a little bit bemused as he returns to the kitchen. As you approach this man, you notice he is sort of sitting here very much straight back. You get the impression sort of like very orderly just as you're looking towards him. As you approach, you see he turns and looks at you with no clear expression on his face. It seemingly is blank.
Well, hello there. Our friend Toblin is going to go get us some food, and so he'll be with you in just a moment. I work here. My name's Kurtu. Who are you?
And you see he stares at you for a moment and he says, "Excuse me, little one. I'm not accustomed to dealing with your kind. You're allowed to just walk around and speak to who you wish here?"
Yes, I said I'm Kurtu, and I work here. I don't serve the food, though, because sometimes it's pretty heavy, right? You know, I don't cook either. I'm not good at that, and why bother, right? But I do help with the cleaning and things like that, and you just look new here, so I thought I'd come over and say hello.
I see. Quite curious. I'm afraid I don't recognize exactly what you are. Are you some type of stunted lizard folk?
I'm a Dragon, and what that means, in case you haven't, you don't seem to be very knowledgeable of my kind, and so I'm a kobold, but also have some magic, and so my people really like gold dragons, and so I'm out looking for gold dragons. That's what I do.
And as you say this, you notice his expression perhaps softens a bit. Gold dragons, you say, paragons of goodness and virtue. Are you seeking
Yes.
one for assistance?
I'm looking for one because we have one that left our area a long time ago. I'm not from around here, obviously, right? And so we're traveling, and many of my kind, many Dragorns are traveling around the lands trying to find her again.
I see. Well, excuse my earlier rudeness. I'm just not accustomed to dealing with this kind of individuals. But if I might ask, as you seem to be quite knowledgeable about the comings and goings of this area, I've heard some rumors of a white dragon in the area. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I'm just telling you in case you don't know, the white dragon, that was not so nice. We've actually had to fight it a couple of times. Me and my group over here, you can welcome to join us, and we've got food coming. And but that one there hasn't been very nice to us and things, and it's actually terrorizing people. So we've decided to go ahead and, well, take care of that for the town. They're good people to us.
Oh, So you're already deciding to do that, then. It seems as though you are the right people that I need to seek. Let us return to your group.
Come on over. And what's your name again?
I am Philip Verdis.
Come on, Philip. Come on over. I'll introduce you to the group. And I don't really know some of them very well, so, but, come on over.
All right, you see he steps out of the booth and approaches as Kurtu's making his way back to the group, and you can hear this sort of strange echoing as his metal boots hit onto the ground. It sort of rings out at each of his step, almost like a slight bit of music, perhaps. And as he approaches, you see he looks at all of you very quickly, and he says, "So, I am to understand from the Dragorn that you all are taking on the task of slaying the white dragon that is terrorizing the area. Is that correct?"
Hell yeah, brother. We came close a few times, too. But he got away from us.
Excellent. If that is the case, then I hereby induct you into my service. All of you shall follow me to defeat this dragon on the morrow.
I'm sorry, that's a lot of fancy word. For what?
I have been
I think it
sent
means
here
he's
by
gonna
my
pay us.
order to kill this beast and to seek local assistance. If you all are already intending to take on this task, it seems quite fortuitous for me.
By inducting us into your service, does that mean you're going to pay us?
Compensation is not without question. I can certainly do what I can to provide some type of recompense, but I would certainly hope that you would be doing this mostly to aid in the defeating this plight that is affecting all of the folks here in this very good village.
Oh yeah, dude, we're real altruists, That's what we're all about.
I
A lot of
believe the word
outbursts
you're
going
looking
on.
for is altruistic, but yes, I understand your intent.
So who sent you? I mean, you said your order. I don't know who ordered you.
I am from the Order of the Silver Flame. We typically focus on dispatching undead that has become unruly. However, rumors of this dragon have made it all the way to our headquarters.
Your headquarters. Where's your headquarters?
Far to the northwest, in a town known as Neverwinter. Are you familiar?
I've heard of Neverwinter. I've never been there, though. Is it nice?
It has its ups and downs. But I assume that there is no argument. You will all agree to accompany me and be in my service as we slay the beast?
Wait, what? What country this is where some guy walks up and says, "You're now a servant"?
You are not a servant, you are in my service, for the length of time that we need to defeat this creature, at which point in time you are no longer within my service, and I shall release you to go back to whatever tasks of a personal nature you may have.
Oh, so Kurtu, you make friend, and
I
then
made
you
a friend.
bring him here,
Uh,
and then he says he's in charge.
Well, I just wonder if maybe Josephine lost her other stick. I don't know. Could be missing somewhere.
So you'll be in charge then, Philip?
I assume I am the most capable and experienced commander here, just by the look of you all. You have the look of capable individuals, but likely on your own regards, not part of a team. You look like you could use some good leadership, am I wrong?
I don't know. Josephine, do you know where the dragon eats and sleeps and shits?
Kind of all over the place, honestly. It's making a real mess of things, but our buddy Eomir, before he fucked off, said he thinks it's based somewhere in the mountains to the southeast of here. Southeast? East? Someone pull up the map. I'm a little drunk. We have a map, right? Yeah, we have a map. It's right here and all this other shit. So we are here. That's not a.
You're looking at it upside down, Josephine.
That's all right. I drew a line and I want to get rid of it. How do I get rid of it?
I don't even see a line. Where'd you put it?
It's over Eomir's head, in the dark green little bar.
I gotcha.
I would like to freehand this. So we're here. Oh, I have the wrong color for this.
Maybe
We're
try
here.
red.
You have wrong pen. Get different pen.
I'll get different pen. Here we go. Here's red. Okay, so we are here. We've been around all over the place, like right here, right here. We've been here, and then we think the dragon is somewhere over in this area. That look right? That look right to
No,
everyone?
that doesn't look. That looks like something from Dirty Book.
Maybe Prince Philip is right. I don't know.
It could also be over here, over here. You know, we don't know, but it's in the mountains. And that's what we know.
Maybe Sil is better at writing than you are. I don't know.
See,
That's
Philip,
all I got.
Philip, what do you think dragon is?
It is obviously up in the Sword Mountains. Quite obviously, based on its nature, being a white dragon and accustomed to the cold, it seems most likely that that is where it is.
And how many people did you bring here to help fight the dragon with you?
I came looking for local assistance, and it seems as though I've found it.
Oh, your order didn't order other people?
I can requisition additional assistance if needed, but as all of you are already willing to do this, unless you're saying you don't want to help.
Oh, we do. It's just that I've never been very good at taking orders. That's what my parents used to always tell me, and now all of a sudden I'm being ordered by somebody I don't even know.
Hey, Adam, can I insight on my my intention is to know if there's another reason why he's recruiting us. Like it's not just this simple.
Sure, yeah, give me a blind check.
What was it? Oh, it's on the bottom here. Should I choose Finn? No.
No, let's get your other guy in there. 1 second. Okay, so we'll put Gale there, take out Finn and Bryn. And Aelmir, and then we'll get Gale down here as well, so or not Gale. Gale's already there. We'll get Syl down here as well, so if he needs to make a check. Okay, so let's see. I would say your read on him is maybe he's a little bit presumptuous, and he's used to being in control and in charge, and is trying to just kind of sort of do that same thing here.
Well, okay. Well,
So Sil, what do you think? Do you think we should take orders too?
I think if he's gonna pay us, once that money changes hands, I'll follow his lead, so long as he's paying.
He's
The
also
Order
got a
has no
really
use
big
for
sword.
mercenaries. If you're willing to aid, you aid to help this area. Once the task is complete, we will certainly try to compensate you as best we can, but as I said, the compensation should be secondary to the ultimate goal of bringing peace to these people. If you are in it just for yourself, we will find aid elsewhere.
I agree with and commend what you're saying, but I have financial obligations that are on a tight time frame as well.
That is quite unfortunate. We all have our own problems to deal with.
I say in Draconic to Philip. So I've never heard of the Silver Flame. Is where you hail from?
He looks at you a bit curious and says, "I'm afraid I do not speak Draconic."
Oh, sorry. I've thought as Dragon Hunter you would. Maybe my apologies.
I
for
am not a
being-
dragon hunter. Perhaps you should ask some questions or listen better. I cannot continue to repeat myself. I need people that are focused and able to follow orders. As I told you, I am from the Order of the Silver Flame, and we are dedicated to destroying undead. We have heard the news of this dragon and seek to bring it to its end to bring peace to these people.
Yeah, he's
So
an
wait.
undead hunter, but today he's a dragon hunter. That's what he said.
By necessity, yes.
But so the dragon is not an undead dragon. Sorry,
There is no information that would indicate that, no.
Oh.
He is
Well-
an asshole, and assholes need beating.
Well, look, I
Not you, Philip. He's talking about the white dragon this time.
I am talking about the white dragon.
Yes, that is exactly why I am here, to defeat this dragon.
Well, what do you guys say?
I vote we become big ass heroes of the realm with our new buddy Philip. Can we call you Phil?
I prefer Philip, if you please.
Yeah, sure, Philip.
Yeah, I mean, we were going there anyway. I mean, Philip, do you have horses?
I could requisition mounts if need be, but moving into the mountains, it doesn't seem very likely that that would be of much assistance.
Oh, that's true. Maybe we should get goats and things. Maybe.
Based on the map that I can tell, looking and seeing where likely this being is, this creature, this dragon, I don't think we'll need much in the way of transportation assistance, just a hardy constitution to make our way up through those cold mountain peaks before we are able to find its lair.
Yeah, but can we, like, buy winter clothes and
Yeah, we're definitely
hedge our bets a little bit? Look at how little this guy is. And I point to Kurtu, ignoring the fact that I'm not that much bigger than him.
That is a good question, my lady. I suggest you look in the local shops. Perhaps you will be able to requisition such equipment.
I'm okay with this because we were going there anyway. So I mean, you may as well join us.
Excellent. So then I shall meet you tomorrow in the morning. Will that be sufficient time for you to be ready to go?
I think I can sober up by then.
Gale, Phil, what do you guys think?
Well, I'll stand up and say, Philip, my name is Gale Fuseflaw. It is my mission to defeat the dragon in the name of my sister. And if you wish to have us together as one band, then I will join that said band.
And he nods, and you see he actually puts a fist to his heart area, like right on his metal plate of his plate armor, and it goes kind of like a smack. You hear it ring out from his gauntlet, and he inclines his head and says, "Excellent."
Learning the traditions of Faerun, I will do it too, and then bow. And we don't know if I close my eyes, open them, but I do my best.
He looks a little bit curious at your bow, but he does not return the bow. He just gives you a nod and turns focus to the rest of the group.
I will give him a cheeky salute, still slightly tipsy. We're your guys. We'll get it done. We'll take care of it tomorrow, though.
All right. Be ready in the morning. We leave at first light. You see he takes his helmet off of the countertop here, tucks it under his arm once again, and just sort of strides right out of the inn.
I'm just saying, since he's gone, he probably could have had a few drinks with us. Probably would have done him good, just saying.
I am taking his detestation of financial gain as a revocation of his claim to loot. I claim his share.
Yeah, well, we don't need to listen to him all that much, but the more the merrier.
Guy seems like a
Sylvie.
prick, but he's got a big fucking sword, and we could use the help.
Well said, and Sylvira, make sure that your commitment will be good. As far as treasure and stuff.
Yeah, and I need to get I need a jacket, because I don't think my cape is going to work too well.
Hey, Toblin, you still here, buddy?
And you see he looks towards you from the other end of the counter and approaches and inclines his head. Yes, what is it that I can do for you?
You ever seen that dickhead before? What did we just sign up for?
No, I have not. A very imposing figure, if I do say. I have not seen him here before. What did he say?
Just some bullshit about being Order of the Silver Flame and here to fuck shit up and chew bubblegum, but he didn't use those words. Those are my words. They're the best words. I have the best words.
He came to fight a dragon and didn't even bring anybody, hoping that he finds farmers. We gotta go help him.
He'd be lost without us, honestly.
Yeah, he needs us.
Well, any assistance to help the town against the dragon, that's good to hear.
So, have you heard of Silver Flame?
You know, it does sort of ring a bell. Those are those folks from Neverwinter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
don't
right.
know. That's what he said.
I just know that there's a yearly celebration where those folks they do this sort of blessing on the town. It's sort of a chorus through the town. They walk up and down the streets and do these blessings in different areas. It's supposed to ward off evil or something.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad, right, guys?
Whatever, as long as he can swing the sword and maybe keep the dragon busy while I shoot my fireballs, I'm okay with that. And
Speaking-
plus, we'll have our friend next week, too.
Speaking of stuff, we make sure everyone has the and this is obviously out of character, but that necklace. Do you have it? Who's got the necklace?
I have the necklace.
Okay, and then we have the swords with. And did we get the little loot from Miza, Adam?
Yes, Mize would have turned the loot over to the team.
And Adam, I'm actually going to, because I don't really need it at all. I'm going to show the claw weapon, you know, whatever that was, but I just put it down on my sheet. But obviously, I don't need it at all. But can you describe that in case Sil or anybody wants it?
Yes, so hang on one second. We pull up the description of that one.
I think you said it did like 1d6 slashing or something like that, but I can't remember. I just carried it to carry it.
The 1d20, you know.
I think it was a 2d20 actually, come to think of it, but I could be wrong. It could have only been 2d8.
That could be.
Okay,
I thought
so
it'd be
this
okay for trade bait or something.
this is a claw that essentially you put over your own hand and it lashes to your wrist by like tying it down. So think of it kind of as like a permanent Wolverine kind of claw. It doesn't obviously retract or anything like that. It deals slashing damage. It deals 1d8 slashing damage. So very similar to a long sword in that regard, but it is a claw rather than a blade.
Does anybody want this?
I'll look at it and see that it requires to be fastened to the hand. But what good is that? You can't drop it or sheath it. How do you?
And
drink?
nobody can take it away from you, because it's part of your hand.
You could take your hand off.
You
Then
know,
they'd
you
have
can
your
just-
hand and the claw. You gotta be
And you
careful
can
about
just-
that.
Yeah, and you can just carry it if you want it, because, I mean, I don't need it. I have my own claws.
If I'm not interested in that, no, don't want.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just offering it. You bought us drinks. I was going to give you a claw hand. It seemed fair.
Thank you, little man.
You can still call me Kurt, too.
Kurt.
Better than little creature. We're getting there.
All right, group. So as you guys have all met with some of your new companions here, it sounds like you have a joint purpose of heading and looking for this dragon tomorrow. Is there anything the rest of the team would like to do or try to accomplish today?
Let's buy cold weather clothing.
Yep.
The rhyme of the Frost Maidens affecting my brain.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be terrible if there was like avalanches and stuff?
Oh,
Daily, yeah.
daily. Yes.
Yes, I would say you do a little bit of shopping around town, and Barthen, he's still recuperating, so his wife is manning the store right now. But yeah, she can sell you some cold weather gear.
I'll buy the kids version.
Okay, Cold Weather Junior.
The husky.
Is there enough for all of us?
Let's see. You guys need, 4 sets? So, yes.
Well, plus our big guy, Leroy.
I assume Leroy is coming, or he will be along behind us shortly.
Yes, he will. He won't be with you guys. He'll be following up a bit behind.
Well, let's hope he has big brain to buy cold stuff. You know what?
Adam, what is? Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Well, Mrs. Barthen, will I buy 2 and leave 1 for his name again, Leroy? Leroy, say thank you for taking care, Bryn. Free clothing, catch up quickly. Oh, Gale. Yes, that's my last name, Gale. No, Gale is my first name.
And you're leaving this with Toblin so that Leroy will connect with him. Is that what I heard?
No, with Barthen Provisions.
Barthen's Provisions. Okay. So essentially you're letting him know that heads up that Leroy's going to be coming in to buy a set.
Yeah, and I'm going to... Basically what I'm doing is buying 2 sets, and I'll leave 1 there for Leroy.
Okay, fair enough. So yes, each set of cold weather gear is 10 gold pieces and weighs 5 pounds.
Does it include those other things that you
Nope.
posted in the Discord?
No, if you wish to purchase those, you can, though. Prices are listed there.
Alright, I'll buy 2, so that will be 28 gold pieces.
We get any kind of frequent patron discount for doing this out of the goodness of our heart to save the town?
Barthen's wife doesn't really deal much with the customer. She kind of only is now, but you can certainly try to persuade her.
Hey, Kurtu, get over here. A lady needs charming.
She doesn't need charming. She's already very charming herself and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
and
knows.
she remembers also that, how much we did for her husband. So, anyway, what we're looking for is some cold weather gear because we're going to go up and try to save the town. Is there any opportunity you have to give us, a good price on all of this?
Blind check. Let's see how well you do.
Hold on, I gotta move some buttons around. Forgot where the button was at. I'm sorry about that.
As
Been a
you
couple
sort
weeks.
of talk her up a bit here, you notice she smiles as you're going on. She says, "I'll tell you what, dear. If you buy the cold weather clothing, I'll throw in a pair of snowshoes for free. How does that sound?"
You are always, your whole family's so wonderful to us. You guys are great. Thank you.
Is that for all of us or just for Kurtu?
That's for each of us because they're nice.
Wow, thank you, miss.
Everybody just calls me Barthen's wife.
Well, thank you, Barthen's wife.
So 12 from each of us?
If you wish to buy, so each of those things is separate. The cold weather gear will help you a lot as far as any kind of checks against being cold, exposure, all of that. The snowshoes will help you move around on the ground where there is, thick snow, that kind of thing. The crampons you can think of being sort of kind of like pitons that are used for, climbing, pounding into icy rock, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So we're getting the 2 gold. To clarify, everyone is getting the 2 gold discount for.
If you buy the cold weather gear for 10 gold, she'll give you the snowshoes for free. So basically,
Okay.
if you buy cold weather gear, you can add snowshoes.
Kick ass. So yeah, I will shell out for the whole shebang.
As did I, and paid for 2 of the whole shebang for Leroy.
Oh, my bad. So I'm just double checking the description. So the crampon is a metal plate with spikes that is strapped to the sole of a boot. A creature wearing crampons can't fall prone while moving across slippery ice. So not like a piton, it's on your boot to give you traction in ice.
So what's the point of the snowshoes then?
Snowshoes
Can you wear them both
reduce-
at the same time?
No. So snowshoes reduce the likelihood of their wearer getting stuck in the deep snow. So if you find somewhere where there's a lot of snow, snowshoes basically keep you on the top of it. Crampons help you walk across ice. I would say you have to only equip one or the other. You could take both if you want, but you would have to swap them out.
I will take both.
I took both as well. I'm just gonna deduct.
It's going to be interesting to see how well our desert guy does up in some snow, huh? Okay, so with that accomplished, is there anything else you guys are wanting to do here in town before we fast forward to tomorrow morning?
I'll probably restock on rations, Adam, just because I'm sure my rations are old. So I'm just gonna. How many does 10 rations cost again?
I think it's 1 gold piece. Let me double check for you. A day of rations is 5 silver pieces.
All right, I'm just gonna call it 10 gold.
That's fine.
How many rations should we buy?
I just brought 10 days worth. If it's
Oh yeah, we don't have our cook anymore. That's a relevant concern.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys are good at hunting or anything like that, right? So I just went ahead and just took 10 days.
I have 10 rations, so I guess we're the same.
I do have the Outlander background, which I think is the same as Eomir's if he had that too. So I believe I can. You can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day, provided the land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth. So it might be tricky in the mountains, but until we get there.
Well, I'm thinking, why fuss with it? I'm gonna buy 10 more.
Yeah, and in case you don't make it, Josephine, we need food.
Excuse me.
Sorry, I didn't say that, but
Yeah, well, if worst comes to worst, we can eat the fucking kobold, all right?
Okay, so I have 20, Adam. Just to clarify, I bought 10 more rations.
Yep, as long as it's on your sheet and you spent the money, you're all good.
Why so stingy? Why not everyone buy food? What's wrong? You have no money? Little man, of course, dude. You have no money? Josephine, no money?
I bought food. I bought some food.
I'm covered. I was freeloading for a while off of our chef friend.
You travel personal chef? Wow.
Yeah, sometimes he burnt the food though. But we really miss him.
Okay, then I'm fine. I'm ready to go then without personal chef.
it's always tough, Josh, being the guy with the campaigns going a little bit when there's some backstory with us mocking each other. But just
It's all good. If I'm a little quiet the first session or two, it's just because I'm listening and learning.
Yeah, just I'm making fun of Brian, they're making fun of me, right? That kind of thing. So
Yeah, no worries.
All right, any other accommodations you guys would like to make in town?
Any thoughts, guys? Is Dylan gonna make fun of us for forgetting something obvious next week?
Probably, but you can't rely on that.
What else might we encounter? In the mountains.
I want to consider climbing gear. I don't know if this is going to involve any climbing, but
oh, that's a good point.
Climbing gear can. Trying to remember what it does, but I do remember vaguely again from Rhyme. I heard somebody else mention Rhyme. It does prevent people from plummeting to their deaths somehow.
It does, yeah. If you tie rope off, it essentially has a limit of how far you can fall.
But I have vote.
I could put some money into it. I just don't know if I can carry all this climbing gear, but I can help pay for it.
There's no need. I can pay for. How much climbing gear do we need?
If I remember right, it's one set for each person that wants to use it.
A climber's kit is 25 gold pieces and weighs 12 pounds.
Oh, Jesus.
Why? Who's Jesus? Why? What's wrong? No money?
Money's not the issue. I'm kind of at my limit of what I can carry.
I can carry some stuff for you if you need.
You're a nice guy. I like him already too. We're gonna be good friends.
If you got any gems, I can carry those for you for sure.
I got a necklace. You want this pretty necklace? Make you feel like a real lady?
Got any gemstones set in it?
It's got a shitload of rubies, I think. I don't remember how many. I think it's like 8. Look at how pretty. It suits me, don't you think?
It'd be a shame if you lost it. You sure you don't want me to hold on to that?
You can hold on to it. I'm not a girly girl.
That's for sure.
Hey. He's not wrong, though.
Alright, Adam, I bought a climbing gear for 25 gold and I have it in my sheet and it's 12 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, I added it as well. I just went ahead and it didn't overburden my weight, so.
I will toss Syl the necklace. I will give a casual toss of the necklace to Syl. So he can have the ruby necklace. It goes great with your eyes.
Thank you.
Consider it advance payment for joining us. I don't know how generous that stick in the mud dude's gonna be. He's not with us, right?
He is not, no.
Okay.
Even if he was, right?
She would have said that even. She would have said that and then not realized he was there.
Who's that gave me? Is that Kurtu that gave me the necklace?
It was
Or was
me.
it Josephine?
Yeah, so let me find it on my character sheet. Let me see what I called it. I don't think it matters.
It may need
Just so
to
long as it's on. Ruby necklace is what I called it. So, yeah.
Well, as
So
soon as you that exchanges hands under the premise of payment, you notice that Syl, like his body language and stuff towards you changes, and he starts it basically gives you the impression like if you tell him what to do now, he'll do it.
Not really my fetish, but you know.
Back ribs are always
You do you.
nice.
Anyway, we done, boys, or are we thinking buying climbing gear?
I bought some climbing gear.
I bought one climbing kit.
Well, if we're in for a penny, we're in for a pound. So I will also shell out 25 for a climbing kit, but I cannot carry it myself. Unless... No, I only have 5 torches. Yeah, I'm at 103, I can carry 105. So...
So what? Those goggles on face for?
Oh, these are kick-ass, man. Watch this. And she puts the goggles down. It's like, now I can see like a real person. Now I can fight the way I'm supposed to.
So then if I need torches.
I mean, they're cool. They can get hot.
Well, that's true. Okay.
Having
I have torches. I don't.
having a source of fire might be important in the mountains.
But let me see. I'm fidgeting with your backpack. So you can't carry climbing kit because of torches? Then just
I
leave
can't
the
carry
torches.
climbing kit because a lot of shit. But even if I give up the torches, I can't carry the climbing shit.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Fine.
Anything
you,
else I can get rid of.
You organize your backpack as you want.
If someone else wants to carry this tent, I could carry my own climbing gear.
Well,
tent. I don't have tent.
for the
We
record,
stole some tents from a logging camp. It's a long story.
I have a place I can store things, but I can only access it once a day. If anyone has anything that they need stored that they may not need all the time.
It's from his patron. I think.
Yeah, he holds up his right hand and taps. You see on his middle finger, he's got like a sandstone ring. He taps that.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So, Mrs. Barthen's wife.
Yes?
Sorry, it's Gale again. Do you have any tents for a big man like me?
Yes, we have tents, of course.
Very well. I'd like to buy one tent, please.
Just the common one that fits 2 people?
Do you have one with like fur on top, make warm?
We do. We have a fur tent. Comes in the 2-person variety or the 4-person.
Well, I'll take 4-person.
4-person fur tent. Okay, that will be 20 gold pieces.
No, not for all the tents, just for one tent.
And you notice she kind of winces a little bit. She says, I know it's a little bit pricey, but it is covered with fur. It's going to keep you really warm in there, and it's definitely worth it.
I'll chip in for it. Tell you what, I'll sell you this tent. Someone else has the other tent, right? Who's got the other tent?
I have no tent.
Kurtu?
Do I look like I could carry a tent?
Yes, but maybe Leroy's got it. Leroy, get your ass over here. Hey, buddy, you got a tent on your character sheet? You pull that up for me real quick.
He coughs and sputters as the DM checks his sheet. I do not see a tent.
Well, shit. Probably one of the dead guys had it. I'm sorry, Gail. I didn't mean it like that. We might have lost it in the scuffle. So, I guess we keep this tent. So, I can help out, but again, someone's got to carry something for me.
No, I pay for a tent. I pay 25 gold pieces for one fur tent for 4 people.
I thought you
Lot
said
of fur.
20 gold pieces. Now you're giving her.
Yes, just 20.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. This new language.
If it's okay, if I could ask you to come in the back and pick it up, though, it is mighty heavy.
Okay. The guys, don't go. I'll be back.
She pulls up this little area of the counter, giving you access to the back, and takes you into the storage room where you see quite a bit of different things. She moves sort of like to an area where there's different like racks and that kind of thing, and you notice this absolute gargantuan combination of just fur and cloth that is all tied up with the rope, and she sort of taps on it and she says, "Oh, this is it right here." And this thing looks very big.
Oh my goodness. How am I supposed to carry this? On my back? Or drag on ground? Or do it have sled or tobogganing?
Some people carry it on their back. Other people, I suppose, put it on a mount or something. If this is too big, as I said, we do have the 2-person fur tent variety.
Well, how heavy is this?
Oh, well, give it a try.
Alright, I'll lift it up.
Yeah, you get the impression this thing's about 50 pounds.
Yeah, even I'm not carrying that. I'll go for the 2-person one, please.
2-person? Okay, I can sell you that one for 10 gold pieces.
Perfect. That's fine.
All right, yeah, and as you test that one, that weighs 25 pounds.
Well, okay. Nice stuff back here, Mrs. Barthen's Mrs. Wife. Thank you.
No problem, dear. And I assume you passed her these coins?
Yes.
She takes them with a smile as she places them in her apron.
Guys, I've only bought the 4 persons like 50 pounds, and that's not reasonable. I bought 2 person tent.
Okay, so let's count. We got the kobold. He's pretty small. He can probably sleep outside. We got you. We got me. We got Syl, and Leroy's coming too.
Yeah,
so right now,
Don't worry about me. I carry my own quarters, and I tap my ring again.
kick ass. So I guess we're fine then. Who are we forgetting? We're forgetting someone. Oh yeah, Pringus McDingus.
Philip.
Prince Philip. I bet he's got his own accommodations. He'll be fine.
He's in charge, so he does what he wants, I guess.
He'd probably take your tent.
Hey, Leroy. No, never mind. We need to bring this tent. Someone else needs to take this tent.
I'll carry another fur tent for 2 people.
No, this one's just a regular tent. But tell you what, I sell this tent, we get a second 2-person fur tent, and then someone carries the second fur tent. That sounds better. So that half the team isn't freezing their asses off out in the mountains.
Miss Josephine, you give me headache with all of this conniving and this planning. Just tell me what to carry. You make deal.
We gotta think this through, okay? I've seen enough people die in the last couple of days. Feels like weeks, honestly, but it's only been a couple of days.
Well, you make deal with Mrs. Barthen's wife, and I will carry your burdens.
I sell this tent. Barthen's wife. Can we stop calling you that? What's your name, sweetie?
Lorena?
I don't like Barthen's wife better. But Lorena, how much did we pay for this tent? We acquired it from our excursions in the wilderness.
And you see she kind of looks at it quickly as you put it on the counter and tests the fabric and all of that, making, looking for holes or anything. Says, I could give you 80 silver for it.
What's the conversion rate again?
10 silver is a gold.
Okay. So, yeah, sure. Fuck it. So let me trade this in, and then give me one of those fur tents. 2-person fur tents. So my total would be, we said it was 25, so carry the 1. I guess...
17 gold.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one.
She does the trade for you as long as you give her the coin, and she'll give you a second 2-person fur tent.
I give her the coin. Now who wants to carry this tent? It's heavier than my old tent, so I definitely can't carry it.
I love how Gale is like,
me.
not going to do the 4-person fur tent, but he's going to skip 2
He's going to do 2 of the same.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
what is happening? So, well,
I'm confused.
so, well, now I feel that this is too much weight for me. I can drop, what can I drop? Cartographer's tools are 6 pounds.
A lot of paper, man. A lot of fancy fucking ink, too. No, that's calligrapher's supplies. What am I thinking of?
There's that tool that they use to determine the direction. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The,
Compass?
No,
it's not compass.
I wanted
that
to
sounds
say
like
that
the
so
obvious.
bad.
I think it starts with an A.
I think you're. I'll look it up while you guys are figuring it out.
No, this is very important. This is the most important question we've ever had.
Josh is going, what the hell is
What
this
am I-
group doing?
No,
But-
I was sitting here trying to figure out what the tool is. Honestly, this is something that, as stupid as it is, it'll bother me all night if I don't look it up.
It actually might be called a compass still.
You put the pointer down.
Sextant.
Sextant. Yeah, that's the one. That is definitely not an A, but it's next to an A on a keyboard,
Nice.
so I'm gonna take partial credit.
That's the word I was looking for, and I was like, I cannot remember what this word is.
Yeah, I knew it was S. I was thinking stylus for some reason, but I was like, I know that's not right.
All right, guys, we've done it. We've at least accomplished one thing tonight. It is a sextant.
Hell yeah.
Life is good. Any inspiration for that one, Adam?
Yeah, for myself to use against you guys once you're facing that avalanche.
Nice.
Sylph, you want to carry a tent? It's too much for me.
Yeah, how much? Again, if I store it in my vessel, in my ring, I can only access it once a day, so keep that in mind if you want me to carry anything that it may not always be accessible. Or if I access it and bring it out, I'm not going to be able to put it back, so we may end up having to leave stuff behind or something. Just keep that in mind.
How much carrying capacity do you have? Could you just put it on your backpack, or are you at the
Yeah,
limit?
I think. How much did it weigh again?
25.
Yeah, I think I can carry that. Yeah, it's 15 times your strength score for carrying capacity, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can carry that.
All right. We've figured out the logistics. Sort of.
All right, so has everybody done all of the arrangements they would like and ready to pass time to the morning where you guys can group and begin your trek to the tip of the mountains there?
Yeah, all this shopping got me tired, so I'm ready.
It's a shopping episode, y'all.
Hell yeah. Most
All right.
exciting part of D&D.
So let's call our break here, guys. 15-minute break. We'll come back on the other side, and we will fast forward to the morning where the group is beginning their trek up the mountains.
Coolness.
All right, see everybody back in 15. All right, group, we are back as the group is currently has wrapped up some shopping here in Phandalin, and we will move to the next morning as the group has now decided to make their trek up to the frozen or icy abode where they believe this dragon, this white dragon, makes its lair. Alright guys, so you've done all your preparations, you've purchased the equipment you needed, you then had yourself a good night eating food and drink in the tavern, Toblin waiting on you along with his staff there, got a rest in there of course, so everybody should be topped off with all of their resources, and yeah, it's morning as you guys gather once again at the just outside of the Stonehill Inn here, with the intention of leaving for this location where you believe the dragon to be. So as you guys have all gathered together, you notice pretty much right on time as the sun is just beginning to show in the sky, you notice once again striding forth is Philip, who comes from the southwest. In fact, you're not sure exactly where he was or where he was staying, but it didn't seem like he was staying in the tavern. Approaches once again, helmets clung a little bit tight there under his arm as he eyes you all up and down, and he says, all right, I assume we're all ready to go?
Yeah, look at all this cool shit we got. And I'll show off our clothes and snowshoes and shit.
You see he sort of looks it up and down and nods and says, prepared. That's the way to be. That is good to see. I have a few provisions myself. I think we'll be just fine.
So you see, Gale, he looks a little different. His eyes are now a deep blue as opposed to the last time you saw him. And he says, doesn't matter. We go prepared or not, we still in peril. Let's go. I'm bored.
I have no doubt that there will be dangers in this mission. Taking down a dragon is rarely an easy task. As long as you listen to my orders and work as a team, I think we shall all survive.
Well, either way, let's just go.
All right, and as you guys let Leroy know where you're going and roughly the path that you're going to take, so he can follow along once he's done with some of his own personal errands here, you guys set off from Phandalin with Philip in the lead, as it seems as though his eyes are focused on the horizon. All right, group. So as you guys follow Philip as he's trekking up through the plains here, you leave Phandalin. He doesn't really seem to talk much. He walks with purpose and seems to continue with a pretty healthy stride as he makes his way forward. You don't see any sense of him like tiring or stopping to take breaks or anything like that. Perhaps a little bit odd. Not that you guys are getting worn down in a short distance, but as you're walking, it does seem as though he's doing a pretty good pace here and doesn't seem have any signs of slowing down.
So, did he say that we're supposed to wait for him to tell us what to do?
Just keep walking. You ask too many
I can have
questions.
some fun with that. I'm just saying.
All right, you guys travel for about 5 hours, moving in a northeastern direction before the plains start to give way to larger hills. You guys continue ascending up those hills. Things start slowing down a bit here as the terrain is much more difficult to navigate. You're finding these paths through these hills, little areas that are walkable and climbing up that way. There's not really much in the way of snow quite yet, but you can tell that it is definitely getting colder as you're getting closer. You can see also that you're starting to get a bit tired at this point as you've traveled for about 8 hours or so to get to this location. And you notice Philip sort of pauses for a moment and just looks in towards the sky and looks back at you all and takes a breath as he looks towards you and he says, "I assume you're all going to want to rest now?"
I mean, you seem to know where we're going. Do you think we can get there soon? Are we there yet?
Not soon. It will still take us several hours, but we can push on if you're all willing to.
No, that seems like a bad idea. We should be rested and ready for whatever comes for us.
Fair enough. Let us strike camp, make your arrangements. I recommend a low fire if you choose to use one tonight. We don't know who will be watching.
You think this place looks good, boss man, or do you want to try to find a more secluded location? What's around here, Adam?
Yeah, you're kind of in this like rocky terrain. The elevation varies all around you. It's mostly hilly, so you could certainly walk a distance and find where a hill kind of dips down, and then that would have blocked sight lines from all directions. Or, of course, you could try to find somewhere more high in elevation so you have good sight lines, but that would mean that anybody looking might be able to see you as well.
I think we try not to be seen. Any other thoughts?
Well, I was just thinking, what would Bryn want to be? And this is fine. Let's just make camp. Doesn't matter, we'll still get attacked at night.
That kind of talk is not good for team morale. Keep your spirits up, soldier.
I prefer my contemplative mood, sir.
As long as you keep your eyes peeled, that will work just fine with me. Alright, so I imagine you guys are breaking out these newly acquired fur tents at this point?
Yep, I'll bring out my tent. And tent for 2 people. And I snore. Really loud. Particularly in my dour contemplative mood.
Okay, so inside the tent, is it fair to say that there's 4 of you and there's two people tents, so all 4 of you are going to be in the tents?
I'm gonna be in my ring once we work out what everybody's doing here and whatnot, so I don't take the space in the tent.
So essentially inside the tent, inside the ring.
So,
So-
housekeeping there, Sil. What do we do if we need to get you up? You know?
I can hear. I can still hear everything that's going on outside.
Should
Like when I'm
I ring the doorbell? Door the ring bell? What are we doing?
Just call my name, friend.
This is no time
Does
for
it have to be your
joking.
whole name, or can we say Sil?
You could
Because
just
I don't
say
know if we're
Sil.
gonna be able to. Okay, that's better.
Look, Josephine, just go to sleep.
Look, man, we gotta post watch.
For what? We'll still get attacked.
Yeah, but we want to see it coming, you know.
Get your
Everyone's
rest.
got.
Get your rest. I will keep watch and warn you if any danger approaches.
What, for the whole fucking night? He's some kind of superhuman? What is he, by the way?
At glance, he certainly looks to be human.
So
Does he
I mean,
answer my
he's
question?
the boss. He's the boss, right? That's what he said.
When you ask if he's superhuman, he kind of just turns and looks at you, but no, he doesn't answer your question. As I said, get your rest. I will take care of this. If you are concerned and wish to stay up and keep watch, you're able to do that as well. I don't prohibit it, but if you don't wish to, as I said, I will keep watch. With this, he'll just, as you guys are, kind of looking at the tents, getting them set up, and starting to move around inside, he would be out of line of sight, assuming the tent flaps are down.
I'll go in my tent and eat my ration.
I will go into your tent too and eat your rations. Oh, my rations.
Don't touch my food, Bertu. Thank you. You have plenty. Just stay on your side, and everything should be fine. Okay?
I just take up a little corner. I'm good here. I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay. Agreed.
Sil is gonna. Cause I can only stay in my ring for 6 hours currently, so I'll keep Philip company for the first 2 hours, and then after that I'll go into my ring to rest for 4, and then spend the other 2 in there.
Okay, Sil, go ahead and throw me a blind check as you spend a bit of time outside with Philip here. And I know we kind of briefly went over this, but just select your token on the map, lower left corner. Perfect. Okay, you notice a bit odd here, Sil, as he sort of stands and looks in one direction, which seems to be the southwest, almost the direction that you came. He's almost completely still or inert as he's standing there. As you're just kind of watching him, if you don't ask anything or you're quiet, it's almost as though he doesn't move an inch.
Yeah, I keep a little bit of a distance from him and just keep an eye on him.
Fair enough.
Say like halfway between him and where the tent is.
All right, and as you're, sort of counting down the time in your mind, knowing that you have 6 hours to be within your ring, you watch him. And again, if you don't say anything, he's absolutely silent and immobile. And eventually, those 2 hours pass. I assume you then enter the tent and go inside of your ring.
Yeah, sure. I don't really matter. I'll go in and do it. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. The rest of you guys sleep the night here, trying to, catch your breath and get a little bit of rest and relaxation. This tent is actually very comfortable, and you're quite impressed with the fur that is on top of this tent. It really does make it much warmer than you were expecting. So those of you guys that have like bedrolls, you're kind of inside of them with the fur tent. There's times where you're kind of even picking up part of the bedroll and kind of shaking it because you're getting a little bit warm, in fact. So it ends up being quite comfortable. The night passes by here uneventfully so. As you guys wake up in the morning and start to stir, you can feel the cold right at the edge of the tent as you kind of put your hand more towards the flap. You can feel it trickling in a little bit, but yeah, everything seems fine.
You'll see Gale's already, because he was kind of what's it called, like in a trance the last 4 hours, so he's already cut up his
bedroll up, and he's all packed up, and he's sitting. If we made it, I don't think we made a fire, but I'm just standing there waiting to go.
Okay, fair enough. So as you guys wake up in the morning and start to break down the tents, pack them back up, eat some rations, drink some water from your water skins, once it seems as though you're ready to go, you notice Philip here. He's ready to press forward as well. He's not impatient in any way. It's not like he is angsty or tapping his foot or anything like that, but you do see him watching you all intently, fairly quiet, waiting for you all to be ready to go.
Philip, how did you sleep? Did you sleep well?
I am fine to continue moving on and at full capacity if that is what you're asking.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's go. I just don't want you to get tired.
Do not worry, the mission is paramount.
You should stop worrying about him, Kurtu, and just worry about yourself.
I'm not worried about him. I'm curious about him. There's a difference.
Well, I care not.
You should worry about yourself and don't worry about Kurtu's curiosity. Thank you. Goodbye.
Very well. I'll have to think about that for a while.
All right, once it seems like you guys are all ready to go, you notice Philip just turns on his heel and begins ascending once again into the hills. Group, you guys make your way again. Hard travel here, trekking as you're following Philip up these crevasses and moving through these paths and all this different change of terrain. It is pretty tiring on your body. As you continue ascending here, you notice at first the gathering of snow. You can see that there is actually trickles here and there, a little bit of snow. It's almost as though you pass through an area where there's no snow at all, and then suddenly there is a little bit, and as you're climbing it gets worse and worse and worse. At first there might only be a dusting, a smattering of snow, that kind of thing, but as you're climbing you're getting to the point where there's a good 4, 5, 6 inches of snow. You notice Philip stops for a moment and looks back at all of you as well and says, "Did you all happen to purchase the snowshoes?"
Yes.
Now may be an opportune time to put them on. And you see he opens his backpack and does exactly that, pulling these out as he sits sort of at the edge of a rock and starts to fasten these snowshoes onto his boots.
Yep, I will do the same and equip my cold weather clothes as well if we're in snow.
All right, yeah, so you take some time to pull off your standard clothing and put on the cold weather gear. Again, much heavier, much more insulated and warm. And yeah, you can feel it protects you. It even has like goggles where all the fur kind of meets. So really none of your body is now exposed to the cold.
Do they fit over my goggles of night? Although it is still daytime.
They don't seem like they would fit. No, you're pretty confident that you could switch out the goggles of night for the standard goggles as part of the cold weather gear, but it might be a little bit loss of function as far as cold goes.
I think I'll put them on when I need them then.
Okay, fair enough. So it looks like everybody is snowshoed up. Okay, so group, as you're all snowshoed up and start making your way further in this area, you do notice as you're stepping on some of these clumps of snow, you're passing over them. And yeah, I'm pretty much assuming everybody has their cold weather gear on at this point. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. You notice that Philip does not put cold weather gear on. He is still wearing his armor, and it does look like his padded armor underneath the plate armor is fairly thick, and he is wearing this full plate helmet, but he does not wear the cold weather gear.
Doesn't count as armor, right? I still got my martial arts stuff.
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't count as armor. All right, you guys continue to ascend and find yourself after another bit of time traveling in what is a frozen wasteland as you continue to ascend up the mountain. All right, as you guys continue following Philip as he is trekking through this terrain, it is very hard going, and it's not really snowing at the moment, but due to the wind drifts, it definitely picks up the snow and flings it in your face. as you're kind of making your way through, putting a hand up every now and again to brace yourself. Overall, it's certainly not the worst it could be, but as you have spent most of your time traveling in much more temperate areas, this is a little bit odd. It's not very comfortable as you're making your way through this type of terrain. As you guys continue moving, continue ascending, trying to continue following Philip here, as you make your way across the cold, wind-blown foothills of the Sword Mountains, you happen upon a large, prone creature frozen in ice. You notice Philip sort of spots this, as all of you spot it at the same time, and he looks back towards you guys with a sort of a curious expression that you can just barely read through the visor in his full-plate helm. Which one of you is best at investigating things such as this? I would like you to take a look and tell us what it is that you've found. Don't be shy, speak up. Which of you is skilled in looking at a scenario and determining what it is that has occurred?
Still?
I can give it a shot. If nobody else wants to, I'll do it.
I've been known to be wrong before, so I don't. Yeah, not me.
If he's asking for investigation, this is not this is not me.
Yeah.
All right, so I assume Sill's gonna do it. So Sill, before he does anything else, he holds out his the hand with the ring on it, his right hand in like a fist, and sand flows out of like either end of his hand and forms into a short staff with curved blades on either end. And then I'll move forward to check this thing out.
And as that occurs, you hear Philip like kind of cocks his head a bit and says, "Impressive." All right, so as Sill approaches this block of ice that seems to be some type of creature, rest of the team, what are you guys doing? Trying to get close as well, staying at a safe distance, or what would you like to do?
So, Gale has his sword drawn and his shield at the ready. I imagine the cold clothing is like a giant cloak around us or something.
Think of it. This is going to be a terrible, unless you have seen the movie, which hopefully you have. But in Hoth, you remember the gear that all the Star Wars guys are wearing when they're traveling in Hoth? It's all like real fur and like everything's real tight. Think of something like that.
So do I have access to my shield and stuff? Can I still put it on? And
yeah, I would assume you took your shield off, put all the cold weather gear on, and the shield's hanging on your back over top of your cold weather gear.
Oh,
so
okay.
Mechanically, it's not going to inhibit you in any way. It's just keeping you warm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be at the ready with steeled eyes and a serious look in my face, wanting to smash something.
All right, rest of the team. So it sounds like, Gale, I heard you're basically staying a bit back. Is that fair to say?
Oh, no, I'm 10 feet from it.
Okay, so you're 10
Excuse
feet.
me.
Yeah, no worries. You're 10 feet from Gale then. Or I'm sorry, from Sill. Gale is 10 feet from Sill. That's what I meant to say. Okay, how about Josephine?
Is Philip moving or is he staying back?
He is about 20 feet back from Sill as he sent him forward after Sill, volunteered, and Philip kind of turns that way and just waits to hear what he says.
I will stand next to him and just keep my eyes and ears open for any like sudden movements or changes. I'm looking around, making sure the thing in the ice block is just chilling there. There's nothing like, no change in it behavior. I'm assuming it's like dead, but I mean, maybe not a safe assumption with this undead hunter guy with us. So just keeping an eye and ear out in case anything strange happens, if the stillness of the scene is broken in any way.
All right, so Josephine, I got you pegged next to Philip and keeping your eyes particularly focused on this ice block, but also trying to keep a general view of your surroundings. And how about Kurtu?
Kurtu, being the brave kobold that he is, he's like maybe 40 feet back, ready to use a firebolt if need be. If mechanically it makes sense to be that far back at him. So
I'll give you a reasonable distance back, yes.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, Sill, as you approach this block of ice, you notice a quick pickup of the wind around you as it begins to swirl, and it also begins to snow at about the same time. The snow comes down slow at first, but this only lasts maybe 30 seconds before it seems to really pick up, and now heavy clumps of snow are starting to come down. you realize your visibility is pretty hampered here. You can obviously still see, but not very far due to how much snow is coming down and kind of pelting you in the face and all of that. But as you approach this ice block and look inside, obviously not hampering you at this close distance, it certainly appears to be an ogre that is frozen and cased solidly in ice.
I'm gonna step up where I can touch him. So I put my hand on his back and says, "I'm here."
It's an ogre.
Well, should have had cold clothing. I wonder what his last thoughts were.
That doesn't look natural, though.
Adam, I shouldn't assume that.
I imagine this is more like Kurtu from its 40 feet distance yelling, "Guys!"
Yeah. I was
No,
wondering
he
if
doesn't do that so an avalanche doesn't bury us, does he?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that it probably, well, yeah. I don't really know what I see, but okay.
You see a frozen wasteland with an ice cube in front of you.
Hey, Sylv, is there anything that maybe he carried? Why is ogre in middle snow? For what? A die in snow? Is there something maybe he has?
I don't know. I'll look, see if what he's carrying, if he has any other wounds or anything notable about the body
Sure.
of the creature.
Yeah, give me a blind check here, Sil, as you're trying to look through this thick ice and see if you can make out anything of note.
Do we have tokens on? I don't think we have tokens on here, do we?
Oh, yeah, my bad. Just go ahead and drag a token and drop it right onto the map, and that'll allow you to do your blind check. And if anybody else wants to throw their token on map, just in case you need a blind check, feel free to do that as well. So as you're looking here carefully, Sil, and again, it's very hard to see through this ice. You can make out bits like the flesh of the creature, you can make out its general form, that sort of thing. You do notice something like maybe a bit of rope at his side. It kind of looks like it's tied, but you can't make out what it's tied to.
What you see?
How deep is the snow here?
As you got your snowshoes on, so you're staying on top of it. It looks like it might be a foot deep or so.
And I will, with my dual-bladed scimitar, my blade staff thing, I'm gonna walk around the perimeter of the ice cube and poke in the snow and see if there's anything in the snow or anything.
All right, you start making your rounds away around this ice cubed creature and seeing what you can find as you're using your staff to kind of poke around in that area. Okay, yeah, there is, again, this snow about a foot deep built up against the creature that is stuck in the ice here. As you're clearing it away little by little, you don't see anything obviously hidden there. The ice of the creature seems to go all the way down to the ground, so it doesn't look like there's any way to sort of access the frozen creature through the snow.
All right, yeah, and the rope's not sticking out of the ice anywhere or anything.
It is not, no. As you're trying to, again, focus on that area and make out whatever it is that you can make out here, it's hard to see anything because of this ice, how thick it is. You can't really tell what it's connected to.
Yeah, I'll make my way back around to the others, or whoever's closest, and just shrug and say, "Oh no."
Okay, yeah, you make your way back around to where Gale would be the closest one at this point. As you look towards him, kind of, giving him that shrug of not sure.
Well, I don't know. Guys, I just wave. Oh, get over here, you scaredy cats.
And you notice Philip looks forward and says, "What is it that you have found? Explain."
Well, Zil found it. He explained.
Frozen ogre.
And you see the snow kind of, coming down. You're trying to be a little bit louder to be able to hear one another because of this wind and the snow coming down. And pretty much all at once, you guys hear the sound of a loud howl gives out as I will move you guys to a different map.
Does your map come with tokens locked?
It does. Or at least now it does. All right, group. So this is where you find yourself. Obviously, you can see where the ogre is here, frozen in the ice. All of you are approximately where you told me. Obviously, maybe not exactly, but approximately where you told me. I'm going to throw you guys into initiative order here. Then I'm going to add some random other totally friendly things. All right, group. As the howl goes out, Josephine, you are the quickest to react. What would you like to do?
Guys, incoming! And then, I guess, since I don't see anything, I just hear the howl, right? There's no, like, signs of movement or anything yet?
Correct.
Then I will keep my awareness open and just take the dodge action, I suppose, standing next to the big knight in shining armor.
Okay, fair enough.
And I will just keep my eyes open, see if I can see a direction that anything might be coming at us from.
All right, that's the end of your turn. Go ahead and pass turn, and we'll move on to Kurtu.
I'm trying, my mouse is dying.
Looks like you got it.
Yeah.
All right, Adam. I am going to go ahead and hold a ready action that if I see a baddie or something that I believe to be a baddie, then I'm going to go ahead and shoot it with a firebolt.
Okay, now keep in mind, because of some limitations of Roll20 here, with this snow coming down really far, what I'm going to say is what you can clearly see is not as far as you might think you can see. So it's not really darkness, and I didn't want to make the map dark, but you're only able to see clearly so far. So even if on the map you might see something, you won't be able to make it out enough to have a ready action. Hopefully that makes sense.
So, but I'll still have a ready action to my, because I'll have some distance, right?
Yes, you can see, again, I don't want to say exactly, but you can assume anything within 30 feet of you, for example, like you can see fairly clearly. Beyond that, it starts to get really hazy as you can't see from all the snow coming down in your face.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You just let me know if I see it if I ask.
Yes, I will certainly do that, yep.
And also, one thing I should point out, too, is that turning level 6, I get that elemental affinity now. So...
Sure, yeah. Anything specific I need to know about that impacts this scenario?
I just sent you a message.
Okay.
So basically, it gives me my charisma bonus to any once per turn. Gives me for fire attacks. So.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. No worries. Just extra damage. Yep. No issue.
Yep. That's all it is. Yep. Okay. Thanks.
All right. So any particular action here on your turn, Kurtu? So you readied your action. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I just readied my action. Yep.
Okay. We will move to Syl then.
I'm gonna move back here to protect my boss Josephine, and I will. I'll go ahead and dodge.
All right. Not sure what is happening around here. You take a defensive position. All right, and if that is your end of your turn, we do have an end turn button in the chat there. You'll notice it says EOT. It's a little pink tag. Perfect. And you can also add the macro if you find it over the macros. If you like that better, it'll show up on the bottom. Gale, before your turn, you can hear the sound through this falling snow, through this inhospitable climate of movement, perhaps, as it seems to be almost shaking the ground.
Okay, I'm gonna draw.
Sorry, I
thought you were dead.
No, you're good. I was describing a turn and moving a token at the same time. Coming through this haze of the snow that you can see only so far, you notice a large form suddenly comes within view at the edge of your vision. Standing before you at over 12 feet tall is a large, primitive-looking humanoid some of you may recognize as a hill giant. It has thick, coarse skin covered with matted fur all over its body that must offer it some kind of protection from the cold here. You notice as it's walking up, it has this large rock in hand, and it heaves it right towards you, Gale. And I will need you to make a defense roll, please.
Okay. Inspiration on that.
All right, yeah, feel free to burn inspiration. All right, so you see this very large rock flying in towards you, and at the last moment you manage to sidestep it as it comes smashing down fairly close to you. And next up is Philip.
Oh, do I get a turn?
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped you, didn't I? Yes, your turn. Sorry about that, Gale. Hidden turns and all that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I found the adversary. I'm going to slowly draw my longsword. How much of the ogre is sticking up of the ground?
He's prone, so I mean, you could jump on top of him. I would say think of him as being like a block of ice, maybe 3 feet off the ground.
Okay, then that's not. And these are columns straight up. These guys.
Those are snow-covered pine trees that offer a small amount of protection, but not a ton.
How big is this rock that you just threw at me?
Pretty, decently large. If you wanted to go prone behind it, you think you'd have cover.
Okay, so no kneeling. Yeah. Okay. So then what I will do is I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to there. And free action was draw my sword. My action is going to be dodge.
All right, you hit behind the tree and dodge. Okay, you notice Philip turns to the side now and utters out quickly, "It looks to be a hill giant. Take a defensive position and avoid its long-range attack from the rocks." He will also pop up to this tree and seemingly adopts a defensive position as well. From the north, guys, you hear these howls continue to ring out. All right, coming down across this little frozen stream, some of you may be able to see just at the edge of your vision a large white shaggied wolf with piercing blue eyes that might exactly match Gale's.
Now we know.
Gale, you notice the wolf rushes past, and as it gets to about here, it turns, spots you, and does a beeline in your direction.
Adam, I'm assuming that maybe just Adam too far from my vision.
Let me do a quick double check.
It's about 45 feet, I think.
Yeah, I would say if you wish to take your ready action as hazy, you could, but you know your attack will be at disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You never know, right?
Sure,
I could
absolutely,
roll well.
yeah.
It's been a couple of weeks since I've rolled, so who knows? Maybe I saved him.
Yes, your firebolt does indeed strike true as you line it up right on the mass of this wolf. Go ahead and post damage. All right, the flame strikes
+5.
right in the body and wounds the creature. I'll add that +5.
And
I just want to make sure everybody saw that I hit something today.
So I'm going to use, it's a new car. I'm going to use a superiority die for my brace, which is a reaction if someone moves within range of my sword, I can take a reaction to hit it.
Is that one of your maneuver things?
Yeah, it's from Tasha's. I posted it.
Oh, I don't remember seeing that one when I was doing your sheet today. Okay, brace.
Well, I took precision away because I realized we have hero points. So why would I need precise strike?
Oh, see,
Yeah.
and didn't even let me know. Okay, let's see. Brace. All right, one sec.
I took brace too.
Okay, yeah, this is pretty basic. So let me go ahead and roll your attack. We'll do this manually for now, and then I'll build it in for you.
Sorry. Okay, here we go.
No, it's okay. I try to be super prepared. It never works out. You know how that goes. That will certainly connect. Yeah, go ahead and post damage as you see the creature approaching and you slash out, connecting and wounding the creature.
Oh, do I add something? Let me read this again.
You should roll a d8 and add that on top of the damage.
Yeah, okay, here it comes.
and then deduct one of your superior die manually. And like I say, I'll build that in.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a good
Oh,
strike
shit.
as it wounds the creature badly. All right, we are then at the top of the next round with Josephine here.
Okay, do we see the direction that the rock came from? This one?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Well, yes, from where you're standing, absolutely. You saw it coming from the northeast.
Okay. So following Bossman's instructions, because I want to be a good little girl, I'm going to go here. 5, 10, 15, 20.
So you certainly see this large, bluish furred wolf here now facing off against Gale.
Do I see the shadow of the big guy in the distance?
Shadow, yeah, I think that's a great description. You don't see him exactly, but you know there's something there.
Yeah, so that was 10, 15 here. So now I'm going to produce 2 darts and throw them at this guy. So I will find that on my sheet. Sorry, my mouse is being bad again. Come on. You can do it.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a...
There we go.
Oh, nice! All right, let's see
2 attacks.
2 crits here, Josephine. Piercing crits.
So that's the damage rolls, and then, this doesn't happen very often. There it is. Piercing 1. Apparently, the first rolls don't matter. No maximum.
So we'll take max on that one, yep.
Yeah. So I don't get extra dice for that. It's just the max roll.
Correct, yeah, so that's like
The 4
a half,
plus-
a half crit.
Yeah, 4 plus 5, so
Yep.
9 damage on that one.
Yep, that's
And
applied.
then critical hit piercing again.
Okay, so we'll take... So basically, you rolled it twice there. Let me just see.
Yeah.
So you rolled a 3 and you rolled a 2. So I'm going to take the 3 and then add your modifier. All right, so yes, that second will do 8 points of damage as the dart also smashes right into it.
Okay, so those are my 2 attacks, and then I will pop behind the tree here, trying to put it between me and the giant, so I guess I would technically be like on this half space between here. Or I'm going to try to anyway. Just taking cover behind this tree, and that will do it. Is it pretty tall enough to cover me? I think we said that.
So I will say it gives you some cover. Like if someone was trying to attack you through the tree, obviously that would give you cover.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So I will chill here.
Okay, let's see. Next up, we've got Kurtu.
Oh my golly!
Would that be normal damage? Would normal attack at him?
Who is your target right now, Kurtu?
The wolfie.
Yes, you have got a straight line of sight, and it is not obscured to the wolf. Firebolt singes through the air, strikes into the creature. Yes, go ahead and post damage.
Plus 5
Burning
there.
it, wounding it again.
And then because Miza's not here, I'll hide behind the monk.
Okay.
I
Actually,
got your back, buddy.
I'll actually go back just a little bit in case you bring friends over here. I'll end my turn right here.
Okay, next up will be Syl.
Bill is going to use his bonus action to use Elemental Gift, and a little like a dust storm, what do they call them, dust devil, sand tornado forms around the bottom half of his body. I click the thing here and there we go.
Yeah, and feel free to set yourself back to public roles. I was probably testing on that, set you to GM for now. But yes, you use this, and feel free to continue describing what that looks like to anybody who might be able to see you right now.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with Red Tornado, it's basically that from the waist down now. I'm like a sand tornado. And I'm going to well, how do you do you do anything special for like diagonal movement or anything?
Nope, it's just straight 5 feet, whatever way you go.
Gotcha. Alright, so I'm gonna basically staying just above the snow here for now.
Yes. So if you decide to, so this gives you flight, right? So yeah, if you decide to
Correct,
fly higher than 5 feet off the ground, so if you don't declare otherwise, I'm assuming you're basically at ground level. If you decide that you want to fly, just go ahead and throw a wings token on yourself and indicate, like with wings and a color or something, how high you're up. So I'm not sure. Are you familiar with how to add numbers to the token markers?
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, so if you're like 45 feet up, you would just put a 4 or 5 on there and real clear.
All right, so I'm sorry, ignore this movement here. All right, so I'm gonna fly up. Which marker? Wing?
Yeah, just something that's clear. As long as you know and you can explain it, whatever works for you.
All right, so 10 feet. Would that work for 10, or do I need to put
Yeah,
like
that
a
works.
10?
No, you're good. That works. I'm with you. So 10 feet up as you fly up in the air as this dust storm hurls you up above the snow line.
Then I'll fly over here. It should be 25, right?
Yep, so 10 feet up and then 15 feet over, yeah.
And even though I swore up and down I wasn't going to use Eldritch Blast as my first thing I do in a combat.
Oh, it's a warlock. It's tradition, right? You kind of have
Yeah,
to.
I know.
Yeah,
That's my thing with warlocks. I always swear up and down, I'm going to play a warlock that doesn't use Eldritch Blast. But,
So tempting that it's right there, though, you know.
Why would you?
Alright, so
Everyone
I'm
takes
gonna-
magic initiate for the Eldritch
I'm
Blast.
gonna Eldritch Blast the wolf that's fighting Gale over there.
All right, yeah, so as you're looking through this snowstorm, a bit obscure, these attacks will be at disadvantage. Oof, so this, very first attack roll of the entire campaign?
That's funny too, because all day I've been like, he uses the crit fumbles. I know the first time I roll something, this is gonna happen.
Oh, you cursed yourself, you
the
jinxed it.
220s.
All right,
Hey,
so do you already...
okay, hey, trust me, they're never too bad. Although you may do it 3 times in an hour if you roll like me. So you're
Yeah,
good.
Bill's got some bad luck. Did we get those macro buttons on your sheet already for you here, Sil?
Let's see. I do not see one for crit.
Okay, so if you go to that, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this, but if you go to that bulleted icon on the top right corner, look at your macro list, you'll find one called Fumble, and you'll find one called Critical Hit and Injury. I'd recommend you add all 3 of those to your chart at the bottom, and then this one in particular will be considered Fumble. And once you click it, it's going to prompt you for what type of fumble, and this, of course, will be Spell. Okay, so you cast the spell, your arms cramp, and you're unable to perform somatic components to cast spells until the end of your next turn. So essentially, next turn, you can't cast somatic requiring spells, but that's your first blast. You can still post, you have a second blast, obviously, so feel free to post your second blast, and you can't fumble on second attacks or beyond. Okay, but a 7, yeah, unfortunately, that will miss. So what do your Eldritch Blasts look like, Sil?
They look like... everything I do is basically like sand and stone cosmetically. So think of like a trail of sand, like a comet. So it's like a trail of sand with a rock at the point of impact.
Nice, okay, so yeah, rock flying with a bunch of debris and dust hanging behind it. It skates out that way, but shoots over the top of the wolf, does not connect.
And that's my turn. Oh yeah, end of turns.
Yep, no worries. And like I say, that's a macro too if you prefer it in the bar, whatever works for you.
Gotcha.
Alrighty, this guy's turn. Similarly, Gale, you notice him stepping down this way, and then it's almost like he notices you. Hadn't really realized that you were there, but now that he notices you're there, you see he has this like big rock in one hand, and he has this big club in the other. He just lets the rock drop on the ground and actually shakes, and you can feel the tremor move through from the size of this rock hitting the ground next to you. And then he grasps the club with both hands and swings it down upon you. And a defense roll, please.
All right, and my last action was dodging, so here it comes.
Okay, so you'll have advantage on your defense rolls. Okay, so this first one unfortunately does catch you even though you're trying to evade, smacking into you solidly for 19 points of bludgeoning damage. He then follows this up with a second attack of that great club, and I'll need another defense roll advantage. Yeah, once again, he's got your number as he gets through your defenses, slams down solidly for another 17 bludgeoning damage, hitting into you solidly. Then we move to your turn, Gale.
Man, with armor class of 19, what the heck? All right, the wolf is going to see some attacks, so I'm gonna continue with this guy.
Okay, you slash out at the wolf, and that is exactly how much damage you needed to do to slay the wolf as your blade penetrates through its thick fur, and you hear a death cry as it falls to the ground.
All right, second attack on the giant.
You spin around, swinging out towards this large creature, but your blade just hits into its blubbery flesh and does not penetrate.
All right, I'm gonna refresh because my hit points aren't working. Do I want to do anything? Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, this is fun. I got hit pretty good. All right, bonus action. Going to do my face step. So I'm gonna hit the button that you built. Okay, now I am in winter mode, obviously.
Blue eyes, I figured that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the creature next to me needs to make a wisdom saving throw or be afraid of me till the end of my next turn.
Okay, and which stat did you pick for this?
So it would be my strength.
Unfortunately, this only allows you to pick intelligence, wisdom, or charisma according to the
Oh yeah,
text
that's
there.
right. Then wisdom.
All right, so go ahead and throw me a wisdom skill check. So not a saving throw. Just click on the word wisdom on your character sheet, and we will oppose that by his wisdom saving throw DC. Okay, yes, he is not affected as you try to affect him with this ability. And actually, that would be 2 higher because you will be, or 3 higher, so you will be proficient in it, but unfortunately, it still does not affect him. We'll build that in for you as well.
Okay, cool. That's my Misty Step.
Unfortunately, you cannot Misty Step right on top of Philip, even though you like him. You got to get a little bit away from.
There's Philip. Well, you know, we get along. All right, so I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to refresh roll 20, so my stat bar will...
All right, you notice Philip pulls this great sword from his back, unsheathing it very quickly, and he shouts out to all of you around him, "Focus fire on the giant!" And he steps up quickly as he brings the blade to bear. All right, he is going to slash out a couple times really quick. Yes, both of his strikes will manage to connect into the giant. As he slashes into the creature and draws lines of blood. Syl, as you're currently flying 10 feet above the air, you notice this large, wintry wolf rushes up, turns its mouth up towards you, and suddenly breathes forth a cone of cold. As this cold, wintry spray rushes up towards you, it's loading really slowly here. It's trying to make that all dramatic and stuff. Going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
I have a quick question before I do this about hero points. What all does that apply? Can you use those for like saving throws and skill checks and things too, or like how do those work exactly?
Yeah, great question. So hero points are only on your turn, and they can be used for skill checks and attack rolls.
Gotcha. What you said, dex save?
Dex saving throw, yes, please. Yes, you succeed on this, suffering only half damage as this cold spray rushes over you. So that will be 9 points of cold instead of 19. Okay, we'll move to the top of the next round with Josephine.
All right. Can I get through here, or is this ogre ice thing blocking me?
You can certainly jump on top of the block of ice if you wish. You cannot push through it.
Cannot push
Right. So, for
Can
example,
I-
if you were hoping to move something like this, you would not be able to, right? Because it would be cutting through most of these guys' space. But if you're willing to hop up on him and jump over, you could do that.
Does it look what?
It looks like a block of ice.
Okay. If I were to get a running start here, could I jump over it?
Yeah,
Like
as long as
this?
you got the distance, absolutely.
I absolutely got the distance. And is this tree blocking my way here? Could I move through this space?
You would not be able to move through the tree, no.
Okay, let me count spaces. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 5. Sorry, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 30, 35. I think I have to, though. Giants have long reach. This is going to be fine. So, yeah, I will make a break for it here. So, 5, 10, 15, 20. Jump over the giant. So, 25, 30. Come here for 35. 40 and 45, putting Mr. Giant in the flanking position. If I'm reading this correctly, it's going through his center. Is that correct? Did you lose me? Hello?
No, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, it's going through the center. I see.
Okay. And then I will draw my quarterstaff, because I threw the darts, so my hands are empty.
That's where I was going to go. That's why I know it's definitely a flank.
Yeah. So I will make 2 attacks with the whacking stick with the flanking bonus.
So, sorry, it was loading up a little slowly. Remind me how it is that you're jumping the 10 feet?
Is it 10 feet or is it 5 feet?
So you were trying to jump over the ogre so that you didn't have to touch him at all, right?
From this space here, diagonally, this is 5, and then I have a little more clearance because my jump is 7.
Right, and with a running jump, I think you can jump your strength, so you can jump 7 feet. So you wouldn't be able to make it there unless you want to do your arms thing to give you the bonus to jump, you know?
Oh, so I would need my entire movement to get into this space.
I think I heard you say 45. Yeah, so I would say from here to here, this is obviously 10 feet. So if you were trying to jump from this space clear across the ogre to get to here, that would cost 10 feet of movement. And if your strength is 7, you wouldn't be able to jump the actual 10 feet.
Then when I get here, switching. And then when I get here, I'll summon the astral arms and attempt to hit this guy with them.
All right, yeah, feel free to move yourself back there. So I think the arms is a bonus action, right? Go ahead and post that.
It is a bonus action. Let me find.
All right, so you conjure your arms up and strike out with your enhanced reach towards the creature. And yes, that will indeed connect. Go ahead and post damage.
So that is 2 rolls of my martial arts, which I believe are still D6s at this time. So 2d6. 4. Oh, there's no slash there. D6 force. 6 force damage to him.
Does he get a save or something against this?
This was the save. I rolled a 14 against his dexterity.
Burst dexterity. Okay, I didn't check that
Yeah.
once. I'm pretty sure that's going to do the trick, but let me just double check.
Giants are not very dexterous, I don't think.
You got that right. Yes, that will indeed hit him, so he'll suffer that 6 force damage. I'll take that off.
Okay, so as I'm running, then now I have 14 feet of jump, so I can make it here. And then I will continue my movement back to where I said I was going, right here. Now, I will make my 2 staff attacks at Mr. Giant with the flank bonus.
Yes, +2. First one connects, as does the second.
So 12 bludgeoning plus 9 bludgeoning.
You smack into him solidly, and you can see his flesh just kind of roils as the kinetic energy just kind of rolls through him.
I am good there.
All right, Kurtu, looking through this falling snow, what do you do?
All right, so Adam, I've got a question. When I get up, I'm going to move up so I can attack this guy. But there's somebody in the way, but I'm assuming that because the giant's so tall that I won't get a disadvantage in regards to a penalty to hit him.
There will be no cover bonus against the giant because of his height. You can certainly aim at his face as opposed to his foot. Yes, absolutely.
All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and target him with my firebolt.
All right, you conjure up a firebolt, throwing it out towards the giant, which definitely connects. And go ahead and click your elemental thing separately. And just so you know, if you check that global damage box, anytime you do a fire spell, it'll automatically add it in. If not, you just got to click on the word.
I'm sorry, where is that at?
Yeah, no worries. If you look on your sheet under the global damage modifiers, it says elemental affinity, and where it says 5 fire, that's how much you get. Just go ahead and click the 5 fire. I already took it off of them, but just so you know, if you click that 5 fire, it will post it. And if you check that box, which of course is under all of your attacks, you'll see global attack modifier, then global damage modifier, and it's listed as elemental affinity. Do you see it there?
No, I don't. My apologies. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, right underneath where blessing would be. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
exactly. Yep. So I took it for now, but next time, like I say, if it's checked, it'll auto apply. If not, you just click the word, the 5 fire, then it will roll it separately.
Okay, so that's 20 for me. I'm gonna go ahead and just move 2 more, and then I'll end my turn.
Okay. Okay, Syl is up next.
Right, so with my bonus action, I'm going to cast Spirit Shroud, and cosmetically, this is going to be the sand just like starts swirling around me like violently, like sand and wind.
Nice. You start
Somatic
concentrating
components,
on...
unfortunately.
Oh, yes, good call, right? Because your crit or your fumble will prevent you from doing somatic
Oh
components.
yeah, that's right. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, take
All right,
inspiration,
so scratch
Josephine.
that.
Yep, go ahead, Syl, sorry.
All right, so instead of doing that, I am going to I'm gonna fly over here and start slashing at this giant.
All right, you fly through the air, still at that 10-foot mark, getting yourself up next to that giant. Yes, you said this was a blade on either side. What do you actually call this blade?
It's like technically or mechanically or whatever, it's a dual-bladed scimitar, but because the art makes it look more like a bladed staff.
Staff blade or bladed staff? Okay, so your staff
Yeah,
blade
just call it
strikes in. Yeah, excellent. So your bladed staff strikes in as you cut this the blade part of this from one side into him. Go ahead and post that damage. And Dow's Wrath. You get that once per turn or every attack?
It's once per turn, only on my turn.
Once per turn. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so that slashes in, wounds him. Yeah, you can already tell that your attacks have had quite a bit of effect here as a team. He is looking quite wounded.
Second attack.
Thirsting Blade second attack. So this is your second attack. That would technically be a fumble, but it's not because it's your second attack. It's just a miss.
And then No, I didn't do the bonus action. That's right. So bonus action attack.
And this is the sort of second side of your dual blade, right?
Correct.
All right, yes, that will connect as you manage to hit it with the second side of that blade and wound him once again, carving into that blubbery flesh. Okay, excellent. Now we move to the giant's turn. Let's see, he just took some good damage from a couple people.
I think he wants to target the DMPC.
No, he took more damage from Josephine, so he angrily turns Josephine in the big club and shoves it down right towards you. Defensive roll, please, Josephine. All right, as this massive club comes down, smacking right at your feet, you jump out of the way as he follows up with a second attack.
That one will hit.
That
Probably.
one will indeed hit.
Gonna assume.
It does indeed, yes, as that side swing of the club smashes into your side, dealing 23 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
He's
I
also going to take
don't-
one step over as we move to Gale's turn.
So did people see my HP go down? My roll 20 is not working.
I do. It seems like it's sticking for folks,
Okay.
but yeah, I certainly saw it go down.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're looking
Yeah,
at it. It's good.
Yeah, my bar is not moving either on my screen.
Yep, I see yours down as well, Sil, so. Roll 20 unfortunately lags sometimes. All right, Gale, yes, you step up towards this second wolf.
Yep. Stepping up there, and I'm going to do this wolf to make sure they don't attack my friends. To attack.
All right, and as you're bringing your weapon to bear against the wolf, you hear from behind you, I said focus fire on the giant! As your blade swings down and connects with the wolf, post damage. All right, that does indeed wound the creature as it gets through its thick fur. The second one does as well. Yes, the creature is wounded with those 2 slashes. Okay, Philip's turn. Yeah. He doesn't have too much he can do for a flank position here. So he will step up to this area, and he will then slash out a couple times, bringing that great sword to bear. He hits both times, with the second being a critical hit. Okay, that's a true crit, so 2 hits. Yes, he wounds the creature bad. The giant is teetering. As we move to the wolf's turn. Alright, the wolf turns to face you, Gale, having you just stabbed at it. It lunges forward, trying to bite you. Defensive roll, please. Alright, its jaws smash down, connecting on your shoulder for 8 points of piercing damage, and I will need a strength saving throw. Yes, you easily manage to avoid the creature as it tries to grasp onto you with this bite. And we move to Josephine's turn.
Syl is close enough to provide a flank if I were to move 5 feet, yes?
As long as you can draw a line through the center, so that would be a flank right there, yeah.
Yep, so I will go bop. Oh my god, I had to close out of my character sheet to...
Always makes it interesting
Bop.
when it likes to do that on you. Yes, that will connect as you smack out with the quarterstaff,
For 6.
wounding him.
Second bop.
Also connects. As you smash into him this time, he begins to teeter and to fall towards true north. Josephine, give me a dexterity saving throw as he comes tumbling down right towards you.
Oh, come on. Let's see. I'm pretty good at those. Dex save.
Yes. Oof. Not quick
Can I
enough.
inspiration it?
You can burn inspiration and reroll.
I don't want... This is not how I want to die, okay?
Too funny.
Yes, you manage to sidestep. Feel free to move 5 feet anywhere but east, and you evade any damage as the creature comes tumbling down and is slain.
Alright. My bonus action...
Just for reference, this body being because of how large it is considered difficult terrain.
Okay. And then I will... I got enough movement. I took a big hit, so I'm going to pop around this tree and just try to break line of sight with the wolf for this turn.
Okay, fair enough. You pop around this icy tree. Okay, next
I'm
up
going to
is
refresh
Kurtu.
roll 20 here.
Yep, no worries.
It's just not
And we
updating.
move to Kurtu.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and attack Wolfie.
All right, you step to here, and I assume Firebolt? Yes, Firebolt strikes true, hitting into the wolf. And burns him as that flame seems to consume a patch of fur on his chest.
All right, I'm gonna pull a Josephine right now.
Okay, you hug up to the pine tree.
Okay.
And Sill's turn.
I think I was too far away in the snowstorm to have him take inspiration from that. He hit on his own cowardly inclinations.
Fly over the ogre sickle, and over here and down to ground level. So I'm at ground level now. And then come in swinging.
All right, you come out of the air, landing on the snow, and slash out towards the wolf. Just for reference, so you're aware here, this will not be considered a flank because obviously your arrow is not drawing a line through the middle, but if you were here, it would be. I don't know if that changes where you want to be or not.
Nah, that's as far as I could get right there.
All right, fair enough. You slash out, not needing that flanking bonus as it strikes true. Wounding the creature.
Second attack.
Second attack also connects as you follow up with that same edge of the blade, slashing into the creature's side. Wounding
And
it
bonus
again.
action.
And the second side of the blade connects as well, nearly killing the creature as it is just barely on its feet. Gale.
Gale, the kill stealer. Moving to the flank, draw my longsword, smack it. Ugh.
Oof. Fumble. Go ahead and roll that, Gale.
You guys are not having good luck today.
Yeah,
You
my
are
rolls
quite
were-
embarrassed by that. Maybe your foot's on that rock. You don't got good balance. Second
It has
attack.
something. It has something to do with him saying he was going to steal the kill. I don't know.
Instant karma.
He did just that as that second blade cuts right through the fur of the creature, stabbing in just bringing it right down as it falls to the ground, slain. All right, guys, we have no other obvious threats, so we are out of combat.
My gosh, I think these guys will make nice tents someday. Not the big giant, of course. I'm talking about the wolfies.
Still
It takes
flies.
It takes a while to skin wolves and use them and dry the skin and all that.
Oh, I don't mean right now. I mean when we come back.
Still flies over to Josephine and asks, "You all right, boss?"
I'm feeling okay. You know, this is normal.
Gale, you notice now Philip walks up towards you as he cleans his blade quickly with a cloth from his side and sheaths it back on his back, and he looks towards you and he says, "You need to be able to follow orders that I give. Why did you choose to attack the wolf? We could have taken the giant down quicker and perhaps saved a strike onto Josephine here."
You act like you've never been in battle before. There are 4 or 3 of you on that giant. Do you want to be flanked by that giant wolf? I don't think so.
The sooner you kill an opponent, the less it can harm you. It makes far more sense to defeat one opponent at a time rather than dividing your efforts. Where is it that you learned to fight?
Why don't you worry about your own fighting?
And you notice he shakes his head. I have strong doubts that you are going to be able to survive through this encounter if this is your reasoning.
Well, then take your doubts away from me.
You notice he nods slowly and he looks back at all of you and he says, well, we shall still follow with Gale. He can accompany us, but he will no longer benefit from my aid. Shall we continue?
Lead the way, boss man. I'll give him another one of my cheeky little salutes.
And he does just that as he turns once again very intentionally and continues walking to the northeast.
Hey, can we check to see what's in the little pouch of the giant hill giant?
If you are worried about trinkets and odds and ends, feel free.
I am worried about trinkets and odds and ends. Maybe he has some healing potions for our friends.
You see he just sort of looks at you without any real expression, seemingly standing there waiting. Alright, so I assume that means you'd like to take a moment looking over the corpse of the giant, seeing if you can find anything?
Yeah, just seeing if he's got any, like a Santa's pack or anything like that, right?
Sure, yeah. So you start looking at his side, and you notice the snow continuing to fall down as the flesh of the creature is still warm as he just died. As the flakes hit him, you see them melting pretty quickly from his body heat, and you feel this terrible odor. You can smell it. It's almost like it assaults your senses. It's like a funk, a stank, 20 people in a locker room all at once. Just, this really, really bad odor. But you do your best kind of looking around, but you're kind of pinching your nose as you do so. He doesn't seem to have anything of value.
No healing potions. Okay, we can go now.
And an odor is just really, it's just another word for other senses, Adam, for Kerchu, right?
All right, so yeah, you guys notice Philip quickly starts striding forth. Is everybody follow, or is there anything anybody would like to do at this time?
As Gale approaches me, I'll just sidle up to him and be like, "Hey man, don't fucking worry about it. This fucking guy, am I right?"
Worry about who? I forgot already. And I'm going to take out a potion of healing, and I'm going to drink one.
All right, you pull a potion of healing from your pouch and drink that. Feel free to roll that and restore that HP.
Seeing him do that, I am actually going to use a feature of my own. I've never done this before because, frankly, I forgot it existed until I checked Tasha's again last week. And I will spend my action. Where is it? There we are. So I will spend 2 key points. So regain a number of hit points equal to that. Really, is it only 1? God, that sucks. But that's okay. I'll do it anyway. 1 martial arts die plus my proficiency bonus. So it took grand old 5.
Okay, yeah, so you spend those 2 key points to restore 5 HP.
What a waste of key. That's okay. And we will continue on if there's nothing else.
All right, yeah, and don't worry about moving your tokens unless anybody wants to stay back to do anything particular. I'll assume you guys are following Philip, and I'll take you guys off map.
Yeah, we follow Philip.
All right, fair enough. You guys continue marching through the frozen wasteland. You continue traveling for another hour, 2 hours perhaps, when suddenly the clouds partly obscure a stone fortress situated atop the icy spur of a jagged, snow-covered mountain that you recognize as Icespire Peak, a landmark so enormous as to be visible from Phandalin on a clear day. The mountain dwarfs the fortress, which consists of 2 separate structures joined together by a stone bridge. A narrow, winding path corkscrews up the mountainside to the smaller of the 2 structures and appears to be the only safe way to reach it by land. It's an unwelcome path, but not as unwelcome as the cold, howling wind that buffets you.
That's it. Bryn will soon be avenged, and I will leave this godforsaken land.
Hey, Philip, how do you know this was here?
I did not know precisely where it was, but common sense and intuition puts 2 and 2 together that it must have been somewhere in this vicinity. Look how large that is. If we were anywhere close, we would have spotted it.
Fair enough. You're pretty smart, dude. I can see why you're in charge.
And you notice he looks towards you and gives a slow nod. Almost, you get the impression like he's not sure if you're teasing him or not. So he kind of gives a slow, like, okay, like one of those types of nods. But yeah, you guys see this path suddenly kind of winding up towards this area. And he begins to trek it as everybody following.
Yes.
Yep, I'm going to drink 1 more potion, Adam.
Yep, feel free to deduct that and restore HP.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and drink a healing potion too.
Yep, same thing. Feel free to do that. All right, team, as you guys take care of a few odds and ends here, drinking a couple potions, restoring some health, you trek up this way. Snowshoes still doing pretty well to keep you out of the worst of this as you make your way up towards this kind of winding path. You notice now you're in a very narrow area. It's as though the icy, rocky terrain makes a very narrow path and you're having to walk single file. You notice Philip looks back towards all of you and he says, "Be alert. This is beginning to circle around. I imagine we are getting close." And he draws his blade once again as he focuses carefully to the frontwards.
Okay, one more healing potion.
How many potions do you have?
Do you think I travel from Feywild with only one? I have 3 more.
I just traveled from Phandalin with 0.
I'm still very hurt from that battle.
I know, it was horrible.
He's very
I
mad
saw
at me
it.
about. But I can't wait to avenge Bryn, and that's all I care about.
All right, team. You find yourself in this very narrow path. It's a little bit hard to interpret based on the way they drew the dynamic lightings here, but obviously the more clear type of ground, think of that as your narrow walkway, and the icy bluish area, that's more of a high elevation leading up.
Is this a slope or is it high elevation on both sides?
High elevation on both sides.
Okay, so no one's gonna trip and fall like something that might have happened in another campaign.
So we're in a
Definitely not
valley?
here. You are in a valley, yes.
Okay, alright.
I keep looking up, Adam, because I don't trust you. I mean, I don't trust the terrain.
Your eyes are focused up, looking for maybe raging snow falling down upon you, but you don't see any.
Or perhaps a white dragon who's going to ambush us in this.
Oh, wouldn't that be
Headquarters.
terrible?
Well, that would be awful. There's no way that would happen. This is a. Oops. I think my token is bugged the fuck out.
It is eerily quiet here in this valley. The little bit of wind that does rush through kind of wisps off each of you. You can hear it sounds almost like an echoing howl as you approach. Sill, you notice from where you're standing as you start making the bend, Philip raises a fisted hand towards you and he looks in that direction. You can see he actually kneels down a bit, taking one knee, and he puts his hand on the ground and begins to look around very carefully. He then looks back towards you through this full plate helm, and in a whisper he says, "Rubble ahead. I hope this does not mean that the area to the east and west of here is not stable." Move with caution. Alright, you see as he starts moving through here, he's kind of kicking at some of these rocks, not intentionally, but there's so much rubble here that it's hard to avoid it, and you can hear it sort of echoing off as it claps and clatters against each other.
Shh! You're being too noisy. I'll go next.
He makes it to the other side and quickly looks to the north and looks back in your direction.
I'm gonna try to, since he kind of kicked a path, I'm gonna try to follow his path.
Meaning you're trying to do your best not to make any additional noise?
Yeah, I mean, if he walked where he did, then I figured I'd be quieter than him.
Yeah, give me a blind check as you attempt to do just that. Being that there's so much rubble here and it's kind of all piled on top of one another. Yeah, you do a pretty good job avoiding any of the steep stuff. Maybe a little small pebbles kind of cascade down, but certainly not nearly as much noise as Philip made.
Can I just go through next to him?
You sure? Yeah, you make your way through.
I will move at half speed, monk stuff, trying to be quiet and not disturb anything as well.
All right, blind check for you as well then, Josephine.
Blind check.
Yep, very similarly, maybe a couple rocks here or there, pebbles kind of cascade down due to the unstable nature of this place, but you make it through without making too much noise.
You next, little one. I'll bring up the rear.
Okay, I'm gonna go stealthily, carefully, and all the other leads I can think of.
All right, blind check as well, Kurtu. Yeah, Kurtu, you're stepping on these different areas. Maybe it's your boots. Hard to say what it is exactly, but you seem to be picking areas that are really unstable, making about as much noise as Philip did as you come through here, even though you're trying to follow his path. It cascades and echoes throughout this area, ringing on both sides.
We'll follow, trying to move quietly as well.
All right, blind check for Syl as well. Syl, you're not sure why this is. Maybe it's the terrain, whatever it is. No step you take doesn't make noise. Every single step you're like, that looks completely solid. You step on it, breaks free and cascades down, and dust is going up in the air. So much noise is being made here. It just doesn't even seem realistic.
You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but was that another one?
That was a nat one, yes.
That sounds like it.
Having a bad night.
This is how.
Happens to all of us.
Yeah, this is. I don't know if you guys experience this too, but I feel like every time I join a new group, this is how the first session always goes.
I was gonna say
Oh,
we
good.
call that being a Bill. Bill has his worst luck ever. So you're having a Bill night right now.
Yeah.
It'll swing back eventually.
Yeah, I never earn. Never. The curse never leaves me completely.
All right, as you guys get to here, looking up, you can see a stone bridge about 50 feet overhead. It seems to span this valley or crevice from the east to the west. So obviously you're stepping underneath the bridge as you make your way further north. All right, as you turn the bend here, I would like everybody to go ahead and throw me a blind check, please. Okay, from up above, you notice about, again, 50 feet up or so, maybe a little bit less than that, there is this structure that obviously the stone bridge connected to. You hear the sound of a humanoid sort of gasp, as though some kind of recognition.
Recognition of whom? Can I insight that? Or is it too far away, probably?
You can try. Give me a blind insight check. I'll say this is at disadvantage.
Was my token selected?
Yep, it came through.
Cool.
So you hear a sort of like an inhaled, like sort of a surprised. And the strong impression you get, Gale, is that there is somebody up there looking down through one of these crenellations, and they have spotted your group.
What a
How
surprise.
astute. Hey, guys.
How could that have happened?
It's probably the F and G's.
All right. So
Well,
you
it's
say,
our, it's
"Hey,
our
guys."
style to bumble into this, so.
No, I don't say that. I say, Philip, they've spotted us. There's somebody up there.
And you see he stops and looks up towards the crenellations and looks back towards you and gives a nod. And he puts a finger to his mouth as though trying to be quiet. And he just sits there and listens very astutely.
I'll do the same. Wait, does it look like we're in a horrible position? Does it look like those people up there could throw rocks at us and stuff like that?
Sure. Yeah. So what you're seeing, and again, I really dislike how they did this map, so I'm going to try to describe it as best I can. The wall is blocked, so you can't see up there, but to your southeast right now, Gale, 50 feet up is a structure, and that's what's connecting the bridge that you see. So there are crenellations along the west wall, the northwest wall, and the east wall, so very much in line of sight of what you can see at the moment. So based on your insight, you imagine that there was somebody watching through those crenellations for anything approaching, spotted you or maybe heard you, hard to say, one of the two, and there was this sort of gasp of recognition, and then you're listening carefully and you do hear what sounds like feet moving away.
Philip, why are we being quiet? They've already seen us. We're sitting ducks.
And he nods and begins to move very quickly.
I'll follow, and I will try to like sidle up to the wall in between us.
Meaning put your back to the wall to the south.
Trying to get like some amount of cover if like arrows start raining down from that direction.
Okay.
Make it hard for them to shoot me.
All right, Gale and Josephine, as you come around the bend, you notice Philip now facing this structure, and there is a door right in front of him. He turns back and looks at you all and gives sort of like a thumbs up in the middle, and you get the impression sort of like, are you ready, as he nods towards the door.
I nod.
Has it been 10 Has it been 10 minutes since we fought?
Fought the ogre? Or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, fought the giant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, damn. I was gonna give him 4 thumbs up, but I guess I only give him 2.
All right, you notice Philip takes one hand off of his greatsword, reaches forth towards the handle, and begins to turn it. And that, guys, is where we're going to go ahead and end our session for tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed tonight's session. It was a lot of fun, a lot of RP in the beginning there, and an interesting battle near the end. So when we pick up next week, hopefully we will have Leroy joining up with the group before too long, and you guys will have some time to explore this location and see what it is that you could find.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah, great session. Good job, Josh.
Hey, Josh, thanks for joining, man.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to playing with y'all.
Yeah, we're looking
super
forward
cool.
to your dice getting better, by the way.
Yeah, it'll
He's
pass.
one to talk.
I'm telling you, it's every time I try to play a martial character, I go through this. It's funny too, because the other character I almost played was like all like saving throws, and it wasn't a lot of like attack rolls and stuff. And I was like, I was like, if I pick the one that does lots of attack rolls and he's using crit fumbles, I was like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is in this one, everything's spell effect rolls. There are no saving throws, so you'd have been screwed either way, right? so
Yeah,
that way,
that's
just
true.
what happens.
Yeah, I think like 2 sessions ago, I think I rolled like 3 nat 1s and nothing above a 14. So yeah, you're in good hands here. We're good.
All right, yep. So welcome to the group, Josh. Looking forward to having you next week. And yeah, good session, everybody. We'll see you guys all next week.
I have a quick question for you, Adam, before you take off.
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now. So everybody have a great session, or a great night, and we'll see you next week.